We live, baby.
All right.
All right. Life's a Mitch. Number 2, Eric Ford, Mitchell Cox. Our guest, Tristan Longacre.
Is me.
How you doing, friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
Very good.
fantastic.
Friend, family, brother, lover.
Oh.
They call me the brother lover. We have been foes before. We have been foes before.
We were foes starting off in our relationship. That's why it's like so weird to me, like how closely we've grown.
Right.
And like it's definitely like shown me a lot about myself in the process too, because like you helped me with a lot.
Good.
I feel
Good.
like
I feel like all of you guys have helped me with a lot as well. Like our group generally.
yeah, I feel like we don't get to see each other as often as I'd like personally, and like I've especially felt that like the last 3 years.
I feel that.
You know,
Yeah.
like, ever since like our bond became strong.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I feel like it's became strong. I don't really talk to you enough to know how you feel about it though.
So
You're right.
yeah,
You're correct.
How you feel about me, baby boy?
We've bonded over drugs, I feel.
Somewhat, yeah.
When
but moreover,
I say-
like
when I
shared
say-
experiences, I would say.
Yeah. And when I say drugs, I mean like apocalypse in a form. And because like apocalypse is just like a lifting of the veil. We kind of lifted the veil around the same time.
Yeah.
And then once we saw life kind of for what it was.
Became adults
Yeah.
and regular people.
Right.
Which
how
I mean,
long were you all enemies?
we weren't really ever enemies. We just kind of
always-
butted heads at points, and like we couldn't wait to fight each other one time with MMA gloves. That was
Right.
fun though.
That
Like
was.
we definitely looked at it as like camaraderie instead
Right.
of like, because you know he is definitely my best friend's younger brother for like a long period of my time.
Right.
And like we grew up down the street from each other. We played on like, did we? I want to say we played baseball together, or was that just throwing in your front yard?
That was just thrown in the front
I was
yard.
thinking we played like on teams against each other. Maybe
We did.
Then.
We did play on teams against each other one year.
Yeah, I know we played at Prairie Village our whole life. You know, he's a year younger than me, if
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
If that.
How old are you?
25.
Yeah, year.
Yeah, not even a year, right? Because when's your birthday?
February.
Yeah, I was thinking springtime, so February, more like winter, where we're at.
Coming up.
What? That's weird to me though. February in the spring. You would think it was in the spring, but it's always the coldest month of the year here, where we get the most snow.
I definitely remember birthdays that were outside.
Really?
I do.
No way. Okay, well let's get back to that. So pretty much we just, oops.
Everything's ruined.
Everything's good.
Burn down the studio.
Take 20.
Fuck.
But we definitely like grew up butting heads, and then like I don't think we are ever really like against each other because we always hung out.
Yeah, I think we were just like both teenagers at the same time, and we were both like aggressive.
We
in
might have
general.
been fighting for attention against each other. Like we kind of looked
Maybe.
like
to big brother and best friend, or
maybe.
Maybe. See,
Maybe.
I had never thought of that.
We never got into like we never really talked about anything like this until now.
I think it could be that like we were both going through puberty around the same time.
Yeah.
And
so
like
you are both horny and wanting to fuck
well,
each other.
no. See, the thing was like he was the biggest one of our group, and I've always been an aggressive human.
Yeah.
So maybe I just targeted you a little bit, but you were the big man.
Yeah.
You go to jail, you want to knock the big dude
you
out.
got to.
Well, like I was
Show everybody
so
you're for
like,
real.
So like I was homeschooled, right?
Yeah.
And like
Most of your life.
yeah, like most of my life.
Where'd you just go to high school?
Yeah, just what I was.
4 years.
But like whenever y'all were coming over and shit, when we were little, whenever we were like actually fighting and shit, I had never been around people before.
Right.
So it was just a group
You were
of
very
kids.
sheltered until you were about 12 years old, and that's when you started like seeing more of the world.
Right.
Well, not like more of the world, but like other people and just being around other people
I
besides
was
your family.
socially awkward.
And that's not like your fault or anything. It's just
Yeah.
how you were raised.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
because of your
Yeah.
sheltered lifestyle at the
Right,
time.
right. And it wasn't even like sheltered per se. It just I'd never been around people my age before.
It's well, I mean,
But
as
it
a
was
child,
sheltered from the world.
as
You're
a
right,
child, you are controlled, but I saw you all as being like way more controlled. Even Colin like wasn't able to hang out with people until he was like
Bro,
18.
For
Yeah.
like 18, 19
true.
years of my life, y'all were the people that were always playing golf in your front yard and otherwise locked inside your house like a prison.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it was.
That's pretty damn close.
That's exactly what it was. It was kind of cool sometimes, but most times it was just like, well, one day I'll figure out what the world is.
Yeah.
Out there.
Right.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about that transition of like your social awkwardness and how you overcame it? Because I don't think you're socially awkward now, and you definitely haven't been for a few years.
Yeah, it was at first it was mainly just like anxiety shit. Like I didn't want to sound dumb, look dumb. I always thought I was dumb, you know.
Kept yourself from talking to other people a lot.
Yeah, and it was like that in high school too, like freshman year, and plus freshman year I weighed like 220, and I was about 6 inches shorter than I am now.
Yeah.
So that wasn't good with being socially awkward, and because I didn't know like math, I didn't know school really. I was in like slow classes.
I thought you were like ahead when you were homeschooling, like
I
on
was.
pace to graduate early.
Yeah, I was, but I didn't know what algebra was. I never even.
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, I didn't know like grammar either.
Really?
Because we just like wrote. Like I was good at writing. I could write you a story that would sound good, but there would be no punctuation.
That's what I thought your best subject would have been. Honestly, was like literature and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just not good. Like I'm good now with grammar, but like I didn't use it.
Right. So you
That's
couldn't
crazy.
compose
Right.
proper sentences and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay. No, I get that.
Um.
I had a big problem with that throughout. Like, I finally learned how to like write proper paragraphs and everything, like in high school,
Right.
ninth grade, 10th grade.
Same. But so like the first like 6 weeks of me being in high school, I was in like slow classes,
Yeah.
like with
Remedial type.
let's just say it, with retarded kids, like actually like kids who had like mental disabilities and stuff like
Syndromes,
that.
disorders.
Yeah, so that didn't
diseases.
help at all. Like I was a new kid that had never met other kids, and I was overweight. I had an afro.
Already classified into the dumb fuck category.
Right, and I was with the slow kids, so that wasn't good. But when I shaved my head, like I lost a bunch of weight, I just started working out. And then like I lost a bunch of weight and shaved my head, and I went back next year, and nobody knew who I was. So it was like, it was like
Summer transfer choice.
yeah,
Summer
no, straight up,
transformation.
there was like 4 or 5 people who knew who I was. I didn't talk to them anymore. They like, fucking don't talk to me.
Yeah.
You know too much. Fucking, I'm a new person. I changed.
Got to cut you off and move friends.
Right.
Move social circles.
Yeah, but really, it was still the same circle. Like really, like the whole thing was still the same circle as it is now. Like just you guys hanging out with people, just kind of trying to be more out of my shell because I have to be around so many people. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I know what
I
you mean.
never noticed that I was in my shell because I was just always around people and they would always talk.
I got you. So after you like showed them that you could learn and like you weren't like morbidly stupid, did like they get you onto the right classes and shit?
Oh yeah, no. I finished with like a 3.9 GPA or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because
yeah.
I know you're very intelligent. If you just put in the work, you would
He
get
said
it done.
morbidly stupid.
Was that the wrong pronoun?
That means like you're gonna die from it.
Yes. That's what I'm going for, people. You know who I am. Take it or leave it. Like, I got so many blonde moments, dude. So many goofball. Just what are you even thinking in there? Like
My whole
type
life.
things that I say.
My whole life, I've believed that I was morbidly stupid, and I still do. Like it's gonna kill
That's
me.
probably how a lot of people die, though. If you
It's
think
gonna
about
kill
it,
me
it's
one
from
day.
stupidity. Because I'm stupid because I can't quit smoking cigarettes. I'm stupid because I ever like started smoking cigarettes, and I'm probably gonna die from that if I don't stop.
Most car crashes are stupid reasons. Most people, I mean, everybody that falls off cliffs and shit, stupid reasons.
So then, what would that be? It wouldn't be like morbid. Would it just be morbid, or would
morbid
it be
stupidity.
morbid stupidity?
I
Okay.
guess.
I thought no. See, like morbid stupidity would be like morbid just means like about death. Morbidly,
Really?
yeah. Like so, like if you're having a conversation about death, somebody could walk by and be like, "Oh, that's morbid."
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then you have things like morbidly obese, though. Where it's
That's the
gonna
only
cause
one
your
that
death.
anybody ever hears is morbidly obese.
Right.
Hey, I hear it a lot.
Our culture.
Do you?
It's our culture, dude.
There used to be this little redheaded bitch in high school that would
No.
always be like, obese to me. And it's like cool because, you know, that bitch, like by senior year, had like a bunch of STDs and was off meth. So fuck her.
It's like 90% of my graduating class. Fucking 2014.
Hey,
God damn it.
dude. Nah, we're people. We're meant to like be out here having sex and stuff, dude. Like if anybody like says that like, oh, they're a slut or whatever because they got too much, like.
You're not supposed to be a meth hoe by 17, bro.
Well, not meth, not meth, but I'm just talking about if you fuck a lot, that's no problem to anybody, you know?
No slut shaming here.
No slut
No
shaming.
slut shaming here. Meth, I will shame you. I'm sorry.
Meth, yeah,
Fuck you
you're
guys.
shamed. Pretty bad. No amphetamines.
But also, if you smoke meth, please continue to watch. These conversations are for you as well.
Yeah,
Give me
that's good
something
stuff.
to
Besides clean the kitchen.
Fuck you, clean the kitchen.
Wait, listen to this whole thing in 3 seconds somehow.
On fast forward.
Hey, actually, I found out that a lot of people, and this blew my mind, they watch YouTube videos and listen to podcasts and fast forward.
On
Yeah.
1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 2.
I could see that. Definitely.
Fuck that.
I don't know about 2. Because 1.5, you can still tell what they're saying, you know?
If I did an Adderall, I could do 2.
I feel like if I did a lot of psychedelics or something and time was moving like super slow, then I could do like 2 or 3.
Or if you could just get some of them time
Definitely.
crystals.
Because you know how whenever you
Time
got...
distorts.
When you're in the
Totally.
psychedelic realm, it's definitely like you're seeing stuff, and you're seeing, like, if you watch a movie, it almost goes frame by frame to that point. Like, dude,
So what if? So I was telling you about time crystals a little bit earlier.
let's get into the time crystals.
Okay, so time crystals are a new thing, and they're trying to use them. I don't even know what they are really. It's just I've read like 4 or 5 articles. I'm trying to understand it. It seems it has to do with quantum computing. They figured out some type of particle that is to do with strange quarks. It's like the glue that holds it to all the other shit, and it looks like it can be manipulated to actually change time. Well, to change space. And to change space is to change time, correct?
Been the space-time fabric.
Yeah. So if you can manipulate, it's basically a way to manipulate gravity.
Right.
And if you can manipulate gravity, then you can manipulate.
That's the key to everything.
Yeah. Well,
That's getting close to it.
it's the key to everything until we get there and we figure out, oh shit, we ain't no shit. You know what I mean? There's always more. As
Until
above,
when
so below.
we've been playing with colors when we really should have been playing with shapes.
Right.
You know, like I always think about that. Like everything that we like use as our what's it called? Your scientific like now it's physics. It used to be something else before then. So like when you're playing with your certain set of rules, like you're not even expecting any other rules to be in play.
Right.
So there could be a whole nother set of rules that we should be playing by, but we're not. Like the scientific theory will change again.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's changed in the past. It'll change again. And it's weird to me that like, so shamans have been saying the same type of shit for like thousands of years, and like now a lot of physics points to like what the shamans have been saying all along. Like none of
can
this
see
shit
that.
really makes sense, and it never really will.
But you know what?
The more we figure out, the more we just question, and like we can figure it out.
But you know what? Weirdly, the one thing that does make sense to me in the world is like I don't need any explanation for is sacred geometry. And that's like what shamans deal with a lot, I feel like.
Hold on, I have so many questions right now. You don't have any questions about sacred geometry.
Well, no, I didn't mean it like that, but like not like how does a planet of material floating around in space get clumped up, sit in gravity around a star, and then it creates an atmosphere, and then life just starts to grow from it from inside because it has water, air, and the nutrients it needs on the planet.
Right.
Because all
Like,
the puzzle pieces
that-
fit together.
That makes less sense to me just looking at it and like thinking about it than sacred geometry does. Sacred geometry, if I just look at it, I feel good and great and like whole and like I've like been there before, you know?
Okay.
Like it's
I can
something
see
that
what you're
ties
saying.
deep within like my soul. Which
I
I
can-
just
so
pointed
you're
there, but I
talking
think my
about
soul's
those-
there.
Those patterns where it's looks like a bunch of circles, triangles, and squares all laid over together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just real dope. Because you can make like any on these. I saw where you can make so many different shapes and everything that you come to recognize.
Yeah.
With those patterns, like within inlaid, like you can make a heart shape and different shit. It's so cool.
Dude, sacred geometry is where it's at. I just love looking at that shit. It doesn't matter what conscious state I'm in. It doesn't matter what I'm doing or like whatever. I'll just sit there and watch a video of that. Almost like how you got the graphic going on in the back. I'll just have a sacred geometry playing on my TV like it's nothing, just chilling.
Geometry to me as a whole is very confusing.
Well, geometry isn't sacred geometry. Like
It is though.
we don't have anything like before the idea of sacred geometry that could attribute to that.
But we do.
And
Are y'all familiar
elaborate.
with pixelation due to the Planck length?
Mm-hmm.
You know how everything, the smallest physical shapes are going to be like triangles, okay?
Yeah.
Because of the Planck length. And I feel like, you know how the a lot of equations and things are perfect except for pi?
Yeah.
I think pixelation could solve pi.
I don't think pi is a necessarily solvable thing. It's not an equation. It's an expression.
I think
For the
It's an expression in the form of a way to find radius within like a circle. So to find the circumference and radius of a circle.
Yeah.
It's like an equation. Pi's an equation. It's just it goes on forever, so it's not a whole number.
So here's the thing, though. You're trying to solve for the circumference of a perfect circle.
There's no such thing.
Exactly. That's why I think if
not
you
in the
took
physical
into
realm.
account pixelation of the circle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the flaw.
Well, the reason that a circle, there's no such, well, every circle is perfect if it's 100 or 360 degrees. The thing about a circle is, like, the reason that pi is infinite, and this could be bullshit, I'm just thinking of this right now, but the reason that pi is going on forever is because a circle, like, is an infinite shape as well. You can cut any section out of a circle, connect the dots, and it still creates a circle.
Right, because it's got the same slope.
Yeah, it's infinite.
Angle,
As long as you keep
angle,
it, as long as you keep it 360, it's a circle forever, no matter how much you take out. Because it'll never go down to zero, but you can never take all of it as long as you're just taking a section, no matter how small.
Yeah, never ending. You're right.
I think
that
pi
makes
would
sense.
end if you accounted for pixelation and the fact that it's a bunch of edges versus smooth.
I think
'Cause you can't have the
pixelation.
smooth.
I think pixelation.
Like that.
I think
Ancient geometry right there.
I think pixelation could account more for like string theory type things. Where are the missing dimensions? That old question. You know what I mean? With string theory, it's based off of there's more dimensions, we just can't see them.
Right.
And like all the math is correct except for the fact that we can't find the missing dimensions everywhere. Either they're outside of our own third dimensional realm and we can't see them, or they're so small we can't see them. And if they're so small, pixelation could account for it because of the angles, like you were saying.
I think I brought it up last episode, but CERN is trying to detect and or receive from other dimensions soon. They're confident that they'll be able to break through and detect other dimensions with this next couple series of experiments with collisions.
They're
That's
spending
so
fucking.
ignorant.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They're spending fucking billions of dollars. I could do that for $10, bro.
One hit of DMT, buddy, you're there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just go with your scientific mind. See what you can fucking.
I
just
could see
do
how
the
that would be
experiments.
undetectable.
Dude, but there has been like scientific shit, like trying to bring back the knowledge from the other realms of DMT and shit like that.
Think what if these experiments though lead to like, okay, so yes, these drugs are basically inhibitors for interdimensional travel for your psyche. So what if now you could go to the store and get interdimensional
travel?
psyche drugs?
Yeah. I think like all these.
I'm gonna go to Home DMT and pick up some stuff. Anybody need something?
Home DMT. That would be great. It would be cool if you could bring it back. Like, it would be cool if you could like go to another realm and bring back their knowledge. Like, just like.
Oh, dude.
And when I say that, like, instead of them like ripping your head open and like pouring cups of knowledge in, just like you can go there and you can get a book, and you come back and you've still got the book, and it looks all crazy and it's hard to read. But you can do it.
Terrence McKenna said his number one goal during a dimethyltryptamine trip was to bring something back from that realm, to bring an object back, because then that would hold the wonders of all science. And
have you ever heard of Alex Gray?
Yeah. I like Alex Gray. He's like one of the best artists I've ever seen.
Have you ever seen his temple?
No.
He created a DMT temple.
I believe it.
When you walk into it, it's somewhere, I believe, in the Netherlands, and you walk into it, and you are in the DMT realm.
Yeah.
He's brought it, like, he's tripped on DMT and then sketched out shit while he was on DMT and then made rooms out of the sketches.
No way.
Yeah.
I can't believe he brought stuff back like
He's
that.
bringing it. He's trying to bring it. His whole idea behind it is that he's making a map. He's making a
Yeah,
map of
yeah,
the other
there-
fucking
there's-
realms.
There's
He's the first cartographer of a different dimension. Well, maybe not the first.
He definitely
No,
hits
definitely
it
not
closest
The
to
first in recent history, I guess.
He definitely hits it closest to the nail that I've ever seen when it comes to that dimethyltryptamine art. Because I couldn't tell you, but I look at that and I feel like I'm there again. Like
I didn't see.
lot of
I
the
didn't
stuff.
see any of that when I did it.
You've only done Changa.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Yeah, I feel it.
That's why. Yeah.
Have you done several other forms, or just
No,
one?
just the yellow powder DMT, and Changa with you all.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a full experience for sure. I saw The Room of a Thousand Faces, like from a Tool album.
Oh shit!
That's real. I thought you said you saw it the night on Changa.
No, I saw that face in
The face,
space. I
okay.
saw that face off into the see. Like I got beamed up through like space
Yeah.
into somewhere else.
Oh, me too. I
But,
was
like-
flying. I was
but, like,
flying.
But it was like off of
Changa
Earth.
was a nice experience and definitely probably the best for a first time tryptamine experience. you
It
know?
was like but mine was like away from Earth.
I definitely feel like I was flying through space and time.
I don't feel like I feel like I was just like aliens beamed me up. Like I was just like I could see the Earth behind me. Like oh shit, I don't
Beam
know if
me
I
up,
can breathe out
Scotty.
here the right way.
Yeah. Phew.
It was pretty good though.
DMT, dude, the Deems, it's crazy, and everybody should experience it once, in my opinion.
Got to talk to Pops. I mean, I downloaded information. First time, I was the first one to do it twice that night because I had something tell me to come back in because I was the only one that didn't really blast off.
Mm-hmm.
So, I first time I went through this much longer compared to the second experience where I basically blasted off, came off Earth, met a gatekeeper who didn't let me in.
Yeah.
And then, second time, boom, I went right past the gates and everything.
I've been thinking about that, honestly, ever since it happened, like off and on, like your experience specifically. Yeah. And I think that might have been like it reading your like subconscious and just trying to like send you a message as to like quit doubting yourself, quit being down on yourself. You know, like it is what it is at the end of the day. And like there's no reason to like.
I think it was because I was nervous as all hell.
Yeah, I was definitely nervous.
You probably had some preconceived notions as well, and that always kind of fucks things up. Like if somebody told you about a trip before, you might experience similar things instead of experiencing your own form of things.
That's what I tell people when it comes to psychedelics, no matter what. Don't buy into somebody's stigma. Don't buy into somebody else's experience because that's not your own. They had other things affecting them that you won't have affecting you, and you'll have things affecting you that wasn't affecting them.
Right.
It's totally unique to anyone and everyone.
Best to go clear-headed.
It's one of the most healing things I've ever had happen was dimethyltryptamine for sure, and even some LSD experiences have been very, very healing in the most sensitive subjects and ways. It's insane what psychedelics can do for somebody, but our country treats them as they're like heroin and they're gonna kill you, or like they don't want their people to live suffering-free lives.
Right.
I feel like psychedelics have helped me. But I feel like it's been like me just getting out of my own way type shit. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But also
that's all it ever is, honestly.
The idea of a like an acid trip for me being like sensitive, or like I'm always just like haha beep beep boo boo. I'm a caveman.
Right. Most healing experience I ever had was most individual, like, you know, you were talking about, like, having your own thing. I was on mushrooms with your brother, actually, the mushroom capsules. And I broke myself from the party, and I had to go lay down in my room and strip down and turn on the fan and get into bed. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I have to go do this for some reason. Then I met, like, this crazy goddess on a hilltop after I started meditating for, like, 30 seconds.
Yep.
Like, it was like she was calling out to me and shit like that. Like, I had no expectations or realities. Like, it was just...
You've done that a couple times.
Yeah.
My-
I met her in the DMT realm too. That
I don't know if it's the same thing, but a couple of times
I
you
could see why it
definitely-
would be. They're one chemical bond apart from each other.
Oh yeah.
So why I don't know. I think it could be.
But yeah, it was just like a crazy little thing. I feel so. We got secrets over here. I'm just trying to.
Last time, I promise. Last time.
I'm just. Fuck.
I get
don't
it.
know. It's weird trying to like produce shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You're doing a good job so far, dude. For sure.
I don't know. I need to trip about it. Probably. I haven't tripped since we all did.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. I definitely advise everyone to open their mind up to it at least once.
I think shrooms are like,
The world trying to heal us.
yeah. I'm kind of still sketched out by LSD.
I'm not.
I do it. Like I just don't like it as much. I feel like it's
I definitely feel that, how I don't like it as much.
I just don't like
It doesn't mean as much. It's good for
fun.
thoughts and
Yeah,
laughter.
Yeah.
LSD's for alone time.
I want to eat 5 dried grams and sit in silent darkness alone.
I've heard that before. I think a smart man said that one time.
Definitely. I love that smart man. Never met him, but I love him.
I've had a quarter.
I have done the 5 grams before, but they were not very potent.
Oh,
The most potent trip that I've ever had was about a month ago.
Yeah.
And my arm, like my whole, I didn't like, I'd never made the connection that mushrooms make you numb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in a way.
No, like they actually make your skin numb.
Oh, they make me feel fuzzy everywhere.
Well, yeah, but like if you're
guess
on a
that's the same thing.
high dose, they make your skin numb. Like my hands were numb, my feet were numb, my
The
legs
most
were
I've
numb.
ever eaten was 4. I never got to 5 plus.
I ate 3.5. The other, but the only reason that I think that for sure you get numb is for one, it's kind of gross, but it's hard to come when you're on mushrooms. It takes a long time to get there. It takes a long time for me to get there.
It does take a longer time to get there, but I don't think it's hard to
Well,
actually
no.
ejaculate.
No, it just takes quite a while to get there.
At
At least for me.
I haven't had sex on shrooms, but I can agree sex on psychedelics is amazing.
Yes,
Sex
it's
on
amazing.
LSD,
It's a different experience
I
in its
feel
own.
like
It's like the purest form of the sexual activity, I swear. Because you get like just bare, like none of you. It's like your essence almost is like taking the wheel.
sometimes it's like a porno and sometimes it's like a painting.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a porno painting. I've only done it once, but it was a porno painting for me, and like
I'm down with all that nasty shit.
I was intertwined
Like
in
it.
her full being, like
Yeah. You
But
feel
also-
so connected.
so I was just smashing dogs.
As a like life form to life form, you feel super connected and like intricate in each other's lives in that moment.
Oh yeah.
I honestly do not share that opinion.
Really?
No. Well, probably because mainly my wife is like, she doesn't do anything but drink.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be.
I thought she was a psychonaut.
No, she's done LSD a couple of times, but it fucks with her real hard, so she doesn't do it. She'll only do it if she's on vacation and she'll have a bad trip. Every
I could
time.
definitely see her not having good reactions with LSD just because of how much of a thinker she is to
likes
begin
mushrooms.
with.
She likes
Yeah.
mushrooms.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I imagine if like she even had a DMT experience, a 15 to 30 minute experience, that she would probably love it and come back a little bit trippier than she already is.
She said she would probably do DMT at some point.
Dude, I can't wait till I can find it again. And like, I know it'll come to me when it comes to me. That's how DMT is. Psychedelics, that might be different just because of how available acid is. But like DMT, I feel like it actually finds you when you need it.
I don't know. I feel like acid kind of comes to me too, but mainly with the
No, I
mod
could
around
see
it.
that. I could see that.
Like usually, if I'm gonna be doing LSD, somebody will randomly have like a 10 strip, be like, "Hey, I'm trying to get rid of this." I'm like, "All right, I'm in there."
Because I don't, I guess I say that because I don't feel like shrooms ever try to find me. I feel like I've had like such a deep connection with the DMT in that experience that
I feel
like
like-
I know that it was like everything's okay to just chill out. Like everything will happen when it's supposed to. You know?
I feel like shrooms. You're
I
supposed
feel like it literally made that connection with me because I can't bring back anything from my DMT experience other than like some of the sacred geometry. and like the overwhelming emotional feeling of like everything and just raw energy. That's the only thing I can bring back from it, and it's like so weird. But like I can like kind of like get how it was like telling me a couple different things, like such as like to stop worrying about death as much.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. That a lot of people like, so in like clinical studies and shit, that's one thing that time after time after time again that people report from mushroom experiences. Like they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, psilocybin.
Whenever I go. It is what it is.
There's a huge push to make psilocybin capsules available for hospice patients.
Hospice.
They
PTSD.
should do that immediately.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Immediately. If they cared about their citizens at all and their suffering, they would make that available immediately.
Especially in times of corona when you can't see your family and fucking you know what I mean? Like in a nursing home, can't see your family, you're gonna die. You have corona. You're not gonna be able to see your family before you die. Fuck that. Pump them full of drugs at the very least.
I mean, I don't even look at psychedelics as drugs.
No.
You know, they're not. They're like a tool to help you see what really matters to you in a way. See what life is really about through your perception instead of like all this other filters that the world has given you over the years. You know?
When I said drugs, I meant heroin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, make them feel good. They're dying.
I could see that, yeah. Pump them full of some narcotics quickly so
just
that they
ask
don't
them,
have
just
to
ask
suffer
them, like,
right
hey,
now,
you
yeah.
want something to where you will be numb?
And that's
to where
like
you don't
only
have to be in
time-
pain when you die, so you don't have to be so scared when you
That
die.
and like cancer patients and like certain surgeries, and I can like I'm for opiates, but other than that, I'm so like not what's it called? Not the opposite of pro. I'm not
Against.
I'm so against opiates in every way. I'm so glad I never got hooked on that shit because so many of our friends did. Yeah, I'm anti-opiate for sure.
Oh, so
I don't think there's any reason for it. I don't think there's hardly any reason for acetaminophen and shit because that shit kills people too. That shit ain't good for your liver.
No.
But there's people that eat two 500 milliliter capsules a day.
Yeah, same with ibuprofen and all that shit. It's just a crutch. For the most part, everybody's got aches and pains. You're supposed to learn to deal with them for the most part healthily.
I think some psychedelics sometimes help me with my pain too.
Do they?
Definitely.
I feel like the thing that helps me most with my pain is like
Marijuana.
Marijuana.
Marijuana helps me with my pain a lot.
Well, because of inflammation.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
7 times more effective than acetaminophen.
I know.
Gosh, that's ridiculous. And how come that shit's been illegal since the beginning of America?
Because the paper industry was scared.
And because you're not
Ridiculous.
supposed to form your own opinions. You're supposed to be a cog in a machine.
Yeah. That's probably another big part of that and my psychedelics aren't.
Oh, yeah,
have been
100%.
demonized.
Have it, like fucking Pineapple Express, right? You know the beginning scene where like he's starting to question shit while he's smoking the weed, and they're like illegal. Like it's that.
Yeah.
It's that all the way through and through.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say earlier, I feel like mushrooms are supposed to be hard to find.
Yeah, definitely. You have to go look for them for sure, and you have to put in the trial and error to know if you're back in the day, let alone like safe to
Right.
eat, because all mushrooms are edible. Some are
Bluegills.
only edible once.
Bluegills.
Yeah, there's a lot of trial and error when it comes to mushrooms. I'm sure a lot of our monkey ancestors, whenever they had to move to the plains of the world instead of running around in the forest, were probably like dying left and right over eating deadly fungus. Until they found the right ones, then their frontal cortex is enlarged by like tenfold.
Ding ding ding. We hit a topic.
They find
Stoned Ape Theory in the motherfucking house.
They find themselves a 9th grade Tristan to eat the mushrooms. Oh,
Here it is.
This dude's got a 2nd grade education anyway. Let's just send him to the fungi patch and let him tell us which ones are good.
Yes. That I would have been so fucking down for that. I feel like in my family, heroin was the same thing as psychedelics. Growing up, that was kind of how it was looked at.
Yeah.
So like,
wow.
so in my life, I always assumed that when I got to be like an adult,
You would be an opiate addict?
well, no, I always knew I wouldn't do that because my parents suck.
Right. Okay.
they did a whole
So
lot.
I thought you were about to say, like, because of that, I, like, grew up thinking that opiates were cool. Or
No, the exact opposite. I always knew that.
I mean, that's how I did with, like,
I always
alcohol,
knew that the
for
ones
sure.
that they were doing and saying were good were fucked up because
Yeah.
they were fucked up. I was like, these ones over here that the other people are doing that aren't fucked up, they seem pretty dope. I always knew I was going to try them.
Yeah.
Me and Colin did mushrooms for the first time together.
That's so dope, dude. I wish I would have had that experience with my brother for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real talk.
First time.
If you're watching this, love you, Jack. Can't wait to have you on, dude.
Jack.
I think my guest for number 3 hopefully will be Jack, but we got to find time in our busy schedules to carve one out.
Life's a fucking Mitch.
Life is a Mitch.
But what I was saying with the mushroom, the reason they're supposed to be found is because they've always been like that. You're supposed to have to go forage for them.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just different. You have to forage in a different way. You have to forage by texting people and calling people. It's just a different form of foraging, bro.
There's always hoops to jump through.
Right.
Some of them included death. Some of them included hitting up a sketchy friend.
Some of them include wrongful imprisonment, unfortunately.
Yeah, wrongful imprisonment.
Dude.
Ain't that so true? And
If you
wrongful
caught
imprisonment is like...
If you get caught with shrooms, you're going to jail.
Oh, yeah.
But, dude, wrongful imprisonment, isn't that like an American culture? Because we don't have much culture, but one culture that's pretty freaking popping is how many people are in jail for the wrong reasons, non-violent, not bothering anybody kind of crimes.
Yeah, so, like, America's known for, like, we're good in tech, we're good in Hollywood.
We're good for morbidly obese.
Yeah, we're good for we're good for that, and also like it's universally known that we're racist, unfortunately.
And we're destroying the world.
Well, yeah, we're destroying the world. So is China, so is Russia, so is India.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like
we're probably leading that boat.
We're not. China's leading that by far.
You think?
Oh no, 100%. Like that's like
they're industrial
motherfuckers.
motherfuckers.
Well, yeah,
over
like
there.
we try. We
Really?
actually, yeah, no, like we
so
actually
we fell
try.
short. I always thought we were ahead of China. in that my
No,
whole
so
life.
like China, Russia, and India blow us out of
See,
the water.
I've been buying into too much American propaganda, y'all.
But they have,
I thought we were the greatest country ever.
China has recently started the process of cleaning up their environmental act.
I don't believe them.
I don't believe them either.
I don't
They
believe.
say they have.
Look,
I don't believe any major government.
Look, I tell you what. I love Chinese people. I can't believe a goddamn thing that comes out of China.
Yeah, facts. I mean, I can't believe a
state-run
goddamn thing
media.
that comes out of our people and out
I
of our
can't
media.
either, but I can find truth.
That's why so many people don't think the coronavirus is a real thing, even though hundreds of thousands of people probably died already from it.
But in America, you can find truth and not get executed for it.
And you can speak your truth and not get executed for it. That's the main thing.
Well,
You can go on
That's-
the run,
that's-
Edward Snowden.
some people get executed for it. Let's not get that wrong.
Sorry, Timmy. Shout out Timmy Leary.
Some people get executed for their opinion,
Or
for
the
sure.
dude that created the hydrogen engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he die?
The water
The
engine.
water thing. Did
Yeah.
he got killed?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, capitalism saw that and was like, that's not good for Ford, Chrysler, or Chevrolet.
No, he was
Or
like,
the oil company, number one and foremost.
he was like, I
Yeah.
got this engine that runs on water. It should only take you 22 gallons of water to go from New York to L.A.
What?
And then,
Bro.
dead.
No way.
That's wild.
I believe it in a heartbeat.
Have you ever heard of the heart attack gun?
The heart attack, what?
The heart attack gun.
No, I haven't.
This is the thing. This is real.
Oh, it's real, yeah.
This is
I
real.
believe it, though, already.
The CIA was forced to admit in a congressional hearing that they invented a gun that shot darts. The darts dissolved in the body and they caused cardiac arrest.
Oh,
And they said they got rid of it and they never used it. But then later on, it was proven that they killed a Castro lookalike with it. But they were trying to kill Castro for the longest fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's why they invented it, really, to kill Castro and, you know, people who talk too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like, think about that. That's the 70s. That's scary to me. What they got now?
Sound weapons, wave weapons.
They got lasers. I know that.
Microwave
I
weapon.
can't tell you how I know
Yeah,
that.
I'm more worried about the wave weapons, like sound wave, microwave,
so-
gamma ray.
So we do have microwave weapons. That's a fact.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had microwaves since what, the 60s? We got to have
Well, yeah,
microwave weapons.
Well, microwaves actually got discovered as a weapon at first. They were supposed to be, they're supposed to be like a form of riot control to make people uncomfortable. Supposed to heat them up, make them move the area, and they
man.
accidentally melted some people in a fucking
Fucking
building.
with the cells in your body.
Yeah, dude, they fucking microwaved some people in
The
a building
atoms
because
and shit.
yeah, they were supposed to raid a building and they put it on the building and they microwaved them. They're like, well, fuck, and then that's why we have a microwave now.
God,
That's how we figured that shit
That
out.
would be one of the worst ways to die. Like, I would rather be burnt to a crisp instead of microwaved to death.
Have you ever seen Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
They had that big ass industrial microwave.
I don't remember it because I like watched bits and pieces when I was a kid, but like, yeah, Kick-Ass was pretty good.
There was this part.
Microwaves will call you to heat up more on the inside than the outside.
They had a lumber mill with an
Making your
industrial
atoms
microwave.
go crazy, dude. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Just vibrates your shit.
Ugh.
Vibrates you till you explode.
Vibrated until your flesh cooks to a crisp.
It's crazy.
Crisp, melty stew.
It's weird to think about. So, like, our brains right now in science cannot manipulate matter.
We can on paper.
Kind of.
We can like in a thought-like sense, but
Yeah.
not like physically.
That's where I'm going.
Right.
So maybe our science just hasn't figured out yet. So, like, I can have a thought in my head that I don't know where it came from because I don't know where thoughts come from. They
I
come
think
from.
it comes from one of them 11 realms.
They very well could. Very well could. Just beamed into your head like you're an antenna or something.
Yes, sir. You're a being of frequency.
Yeah, well, at least that's what the thing that you're in is. Like, you're just piloting a machine that's an antenna to pick up the frequency.
That's going back to like simulation, remote control type thing.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's just like you're here on purpose, and you've given yourself amnesia to figure out what it was like before you knew all the things.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. That's like we're all just part of a supercomputer experiencing a simulated reality.
Nah, fuck all that supercomputer shit. We invented that.
Well, you know what I mean. A
I feel like-
supercomputer that's probably unconceivable to us because that's how advanced it is.
The whole simulation theory thing to me.
Even if it's just the brain of a god.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But to me, the whole simulation thing is kind of bullshit. I think that's just us projecting our own shit onto something that's greater than us.
I definitely don't. I'm not on the simulation theory train. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. But, like, I don't know. There's something deeper to this. Our soul goes somewhere. We're not just going back to a motherboard, you know?
It would
Like,
be
it's-
weird if this was a simulation.
I believe more in the 11 dimensions than I would simulation theory.
Oh, yeah. Well, the 11 dimensions is a widely accepted thing, too.
And I mean, like, that being a part of, like, our roles and steps and where we go throughout this existence.
When you say 11 dimensions, are you talking about string theory?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
I
Because
think
string theory...
and then Buddhism, real traditional values, they talk about the 14 levels of reincarnation. So I think they might have something to do with each other, just like theory. I'm not like full on practicing Buddhist, or I'm not like a scientist either. You know, like this whole show is like philosophy and theory. So please don't get on us telling us that we suck and are stupid, because we know we are. All right. That's why we're here, to let y'all enjoy the stupidity.
Can I have a level of a spirit?
Yeah.
What?
Go for it, dude.
Oh, yes. Ooh. Can you all talk while I use the bathroom?
Oh, yeah. You're good.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
I'm going to go out and use this one, so I don't got to walk past that.
Good idea, bub. All
We'll
right.
just cut and come right back. How about that?
No, I want to talk to you on air.
Okay.
Ooh, me and Eric, solo time.
Talk about me.
Yeah, let's talk shit about Tristan while he's gone.
Talk about how big my dick is.
Talk about how small a shrimp is. Let's go. It's very small, baby. Very small, very nice.
I'm
Oh,
very
yes.
sad about it. Yay.
Hey, so what do you think about, did I tell you about, I want one of my first guests, I mean, hopefully I'll get Jack. But then, like, next one, did I tell you about the internet video dude? I know I've showed you one of his videos before. Yo, Jay Grizz, I'm trying to get him on the show, like, within the next couple weeks.
What's his deal?
He makes, like, funny videos and stuff. He's really freaking hilarious. I'll show you some videos after this. Like, you might remember me showing you one before or something. But he's funny. I went to high school with him. There's another music artist that I want to try to get on named Okari. We went to school together in high school, and now he's starting to take off in music. So I'm seeing if I can get him on within the next month. Yo J Grizz said he wanted to do it sooner than later. So, like, maybe even, like, first week of November might be an ideal for that.
My door's always open for you guys. I'm going to probably start working from home.
Yeah?
So
What's that gonna, what's up with that?
I got to find a gig first. But I mean,
Okay. I thought you meant like you already had one in
office.
line. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually do have a couple things in mind and in line, but I got to get hired. But
Yeah.
I got everything I need for a home office, and to actually I have a laptop and everything I would need so that we could run a pod while I work.
What?
Yeah.
That's tight.
So,
Dude, so there was something else I wanted to bring up, but I forgot. So let's just talk some shit until Tristan gets back about how small a shrimp is.
oh, shrimpy boy.
Yeah, I'll let him out. Alrighty, Tristan back.
I have a baby bladder and I drink so much water, but I have chronic dry mouth.
Can I smell your hand?
It'll only smell like
Did you
ball sweat.
sanitize?
I came here after I
hope
worked.
not.
I sanitized a little.
I don't like that. Don't sanitize. You need them biomes, bro. I'm just playing.
You need your cock and ball biomes on your
My
hands.
legs all infected and about to fall off. It's just natural biome, bro.
Yeah. We're the opposite of progressives. We're regressives.
Sometimes I eat dirt just because I think it makes me strong.
I used to eat dirt as a kid. I remember being 3 and it's like one of my earliest memories is seeing a pile of dirt and running over to it and grabbing it. My mom knocks me over with the dirt out. Don't eat that. Don't eat the dirt.
Come on, mom.
I remember one time, like one of my earliest memories, I used to play with army men all the time. The little army dudes. And I chewed one of their heads off, but I didn't like him. He was a bad guy, and I was trying to make him scary, right?
I loved getting the big containers of like 1,000 army men, dude.
Right,
That was my
right, and
favorite.
just make a battle zone.
Yeah.
Right?
I melted a bunch of them with gasoline.
I've done that too. But I was like 4 maybe. And I chewed this thing's head off because I wanted to make it look scary. And then I was like, I'm about to hide this thing in my nose, but I know they're not gonna let me have this. I know they're not gonna let me have this little head, but I thought it was cool. I was gonna put it on my dresser. So I put it in my nose and I took a deep breath. I didn't know you could snort things, and just like straight shot into my nose. I was like, well, this is death early on in life. I don't know. I've been thinking about death my whole life.
I made it 4
I can't stop.
years.
I can't
Right.
stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
And then I coughed, and the little head came out of my throat, and I realized I had a party trick.
Get like Dave and Blaine, go get me a garter snake and stick it through my nose. Holes.
Dude, I can't do that. I used to do that with spaghetti all the time. I'd stick it through my nose and pull it out my mouth. Like, I like fuck with people. Yeah, I used to do that all the time. I did that the other night, like 2 nights ago, to fuck with Spencer. I was making spaghetti.
It's just cocaine preparation.
Yeah, I don't even like cocaine either. I've done it a couple of times. It's just
Dude,
not for me.
Something else I wanted to ask you about. How's living with your brother now that you're an adult?
Dude, it's fucking fantastic.
I bet. I
Spencer's the
wish I
best
could
house guest.
live with my brother as a roommate, dude. It'd be fucking so much fun.
Spencer's a great house guest.
So much funner than being like not being a piece of shit. I love my family, but like being alone. Like I'd rather be hanging out with my brother in my times that I was alone. Like always. That's
Yeah,
gotta
it's
be
definitely
so
good.
fucking dope, dude.
And Erica's sister lives with us too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one of her friends.
Right.
So like we got a whole communal living thing going on there. It's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool.
You got a lot of chill ass people to always feel that's
There's always something going on. It's very
Yeah.
easy to procrastinate.
It never
there.
lets you get like too down on yourself whenever you have other people around too. Because I know
Yeah.
when I'm alone, that's when I'll get down on myself.
Yep.
Thinking too much. I'm a thinker. I'm an overthinker.
There's-
Mainly.
There's nothing worse than being at home on like a Tuesday night and like
Bored and
10
depressed.
at night and nobody's around. I was like, well,
To be honest with you, I don't really know what that's like. 100%.
It's
and
good.
Never had that.
It's-
experience.
I've never lived
It's
alone.
good in moderation. Definitely. Like you definitely always need a couple hours here or there to just be by yourself, even if it's at work and you're on something.
That's why I
alone.
stay up late. My wife goes to bed early.
Yeah, yeah,
A little bit of alone time, decompress, be yourself.
yeah. Definitely. Like
And when I
really,
say-
like sit with your thoughts and think about things that had happened today, or recently, something that, and you could just stay in your mind for a little bit. That's
Right.
definitely healthy in moderation.
When I say be yourself, it's not like I'm not myself around my wife. It's
No,
just
I'm definitely
like,
myself all the time.
so I'm not.
I can't be anybody else.
I'm definitely not myself all the time. I wear masks for people on purpose because of the fact that I feel like if I'm myself all the time, then I project things onto people and make them down more than I need to, when really I can kind of just keep it to myself.
I get what you're
Kinda-
saying in that sense.
Yeah. So like I can't, like, because of the fact that I am generally kind of like a nihilist, I don't really, I put on a happy face for a lot of people because I don't want to like harshen their mood, even though like I can talk about death and how nobody matters and all this shit till the cows
Right.
come home, and it doesn't bother my mood. And some people get real down about that. So
Definitely.
so like you definitely gotta just,
Yeah.
for me at least, I kind of put on.
Yeah,
shit
no,
about that.
I've almost been a nihilist all my life until the past couple months.
I like to call
Do you
myself
consider yourself a Buddhist?
I consider no, I
You
don't. No.
But you have studied before, right?
Yes. I'm very into religion in general because
Yeah.
it seems like
It's interesting as fuck.
it seems like
I just started learning about Islam the other day, and it's so interesting,
Right.
dude. Muhammad and his travels and what he would do, talking about going with Gabriel up to around the world and to where what he was describing somewhere where he went that reminded me a hell of a lot of like a stellar nursery, dude.
Really?
And it was like I'd never heard that story before, but I listened to somebody tell it, and man, that was just so crazy to think like he went to go talk to God, and what mostly likely what I think was a stellar nursery, if it was just a projection from his pineal gland or whatever, or like he actually went with like some type of alien spacecraft there.
So a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Everything that's a lot of, this is just to my knowledge, a lot of what surrounds that is, so you know Mecca, right? You know the Black Rock, the big Black Rock in Mecca. That's an asteroid.
Huh?
That's an asteroid.
Oh yeah.
That came from outer
They
space.
have hieroglyph or geoglyphs pointing towards it, and
Yeah.
all over Syria.
yeah,
Not Syria, Saudi.
Well, there's that, and the geoglyphs generally have, depending on what era they came from, they have correlation to the stars themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's what the astral projection thing is. Like when he's saying like a stellar, I think I don't understand the correlation between Mecca and Muhammad necessarily. Is I guess what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't understand why that rock is so important, other than the fact that it's the navel of the earth, so to
Yeah.
speak, the center of the earth, the center
Right.
point of the earth. So everybody prays there because that's the center of the earth. You're praying to the center.
So like I'm not educated enough to really talk about Islam that much. I was just really like pertaining to like that one story that I'd heard.
I
the
got
other
you.
night. But like I don't know the significance of the Black Rock either.
I know that the significance is that I personally think that it hit and destroyed civilizations along with a bunch of other asteroids around 12,800 years ago,
Yeah.
according to recent and old science.
Uh-huh.
It's just, do you know anything about archaeology? I know that's a little bit off topic. But
I just like to watch a lot of like pyramid stuff, honestly,
you.
and like stuff like that, digging up ancient tombs, the temple in India, which I still don't remember the name of. We talked about it last
I
week.
know which one you're talking about.
Where they found the emerald tablet.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about ancient structures.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Göbekli
ancient
Tepe,
structures the other day.
Machu Picchu. Have you ever heard of Machu Picchu?
Yeah, I
That's
watched
pretty
something on
crazy.
that last night actually.
Yeah.
Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Um,
Mesopotamia gets real. The Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah. The Epic of
Pretty much how our solar system came to be, what it is, if you take it in a symbolic sense.
Possibly, yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
But I think,
I mean, it like totally explains the moon and how it got there, and like how our planet was like a block of like water ice, and then it got sent because it got hit by an asteroid, and then like it's closer to the sun to where it could like create life and all that, and then like from that asteroid, a big like gravity field of like rocks was outside of the Earth and like attached onto the half of the Earth that got obliterated. And like created, or not the half of the Earth, but a piece of the Earth that got obliterated.
About a quarter.
Dude, it's intense. If you've never heard about the Epic of Gilgamesh, go look that up. You will be, I'm sure, if you're interested in any type of old stories about how things came to be in like early civilizations, you will be interested by that for sure.
Shit your pants and play in it.
It's good stuff. No matter what religion you believe in, it's
Well,
old stories, older than Christianity or Islam.
I brought up archaeology because of the fact that it seems as if archaeology is almost conspiratorial in the hiding of factual knowledge from the prehistoric times, which it seems like they're suppressing a civilization of like antiquity before the Egyptians, before any of these things that got wiped out by a meteor. And about 12,800 years ago. And this is all denied by archaeology, Egyptologists, all this shit. But then, sciences, real sciences, not archaeology, not carbon dating, not these things. Like, they can actually see that there are, like, nanocrystal. Have you ever heard of a nanodiamond?
No, I haven't.
Whenever
I know nano is super small.
Yes. Whenever large explosions happen, like large, like more nukes than we have right now, large.
Yeah, like planetary collision type explosions.
Yeah, the only times that we've ever been able to actually see them is where we've known that meteorites have hit, or where we think that the big meteor hit that killed all the dinosaurs.
Right.
Those are the only places that we've been able to find them, other than the places where geologists, people who actually study rocks and what rocks are, like people who actually study stone that all of the shit is made out of, instead of archaeologists who just study artifacts and shit like that.
Yeah.
They found nanocrystals or nano diamonds in all of these different spots all over the world, in pretty much every continent.
Yeah.
Pointing to that the Earth was hit by a meteor, or a comet rather, about 12,800 years ago, and it wiped out civilization as we know it.
Yeah.
And the only ones that survived were like people that would be on islands right now, like uncontacted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything goes back a couple thousand years, and then we forget that it was a thing. And now we have all these legends of gods, when really they're just legends of people that had technology like we have now.
Well,
that goes back what we were talking about last week.
Yeah. Episode, the travelers, you see these glyphs where these beings bring into civilizations all around the world. Göbekli Tepe.
The people, the people who settled, the people who were settling everything
after 12,800 years ago, when the society started popping up again.
Like
They
Quetzalcoatl.
all alluded to these beings that carried these boxes with handles.
Yeah. Like Osiris and Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and actually, there's similarities between Osiris and Jesus and Quetzalcoatl.
And Poseidon.
And Poseidon.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but it's crazy because most people assume that Jesus is a real person, and he very well might be. But also, he could just be a myth, a legend from the antiquity of before times, that he looks very similar, and a lot of the things that he did were already myth in the time that he was supposed to have lived. So unless he was just recreating what Osiris or Quetzalcoatl or any of these people had done, then it's kind of weird that there's a story, 10,000 years before Jesus was alive.
Yeah.
That is very similar.
Yeah, I know that similar
And same with
story
Moses.
definitely goes back into like every major religion since even like pagan times.
Same with Moses. And that goes to like Judaism, and that's like the oldest. Judaism is the oldest religion,
Really?
correct? Oh, no, I believe Buddhism actually is. But, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Buddhism goes back a long. Well, I mean,
I
I
thought
guess
Buddhism
that's-
was like 700 BC
no.
when Buddha was around.
Well,
Because his dad was an
I
emperor
guess
conquering
Buddhism as a
kingdoms and
thing.
shit.
I guess Buddhism as a thing. Yeah, before that it was Tao.
Oh yeah, no,
But
I
I mean,
didn't
it's
think
all
about
the
Tao.
same shit. It just became Buddhism because he figured it out better.
Yeah.
Because Tao was so strict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tao is more
was
like
shave your head, go to the mountains, don't eat, work out every day for 9 hours, fucking
I'd
sleep
say-
for 10 hours, and
I'd
then
say-
meditate for the rest.
Yeah, I'd
That's
say
the only way to
Taoism
achieve
is-
enlightenment. And Buddhism was kind of like, well, I tried that and it didn't work. And then I meditated under a tree for a while and I figured some things out. That's how he became enlightened, by figuring out that that wasn't the way necessarily.
So Buddha was Tao?
Yes.
First?
Mhm. Yeah, he was Tao for a long time. He actually meditated on a rock in a Tao like temple for 3 years, and then he was like, "Well, that fucking sucked."
Yeah.
and I didn't even achieve enlightenment. And
I
then
couldn't believe
he
it.
like left the temple. He walked around for like 2 years, and then he found a tree. He was like, "I'm gonna sit here."
I definitely heard about his story where he walked around and saw the world because his family kept him so sheltered because he was next in line to be emperor of was it China? What was China? The dynasty
whatever it
that
was.
controlled it at the time. But he was next in line, and then he went out and saw the suffering in the world on his travels, and then that's when he wanted to be a spiritual leader in the sense of like helping people end their suffering.
Did he even want to be a spiritual leader?
I don't think he called it that, but like he knew that he had a following and wanted to help people. So
Yeah.
like that's a spiritual leader.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
almost like a
I always thought that he just like I don't know. I feel like if you go into something looking for something, especially in Buddhism, then you're never gonna find it. The whole point of Buddhism, especially like Zen Buddhism, which is kind of like an off branch of Buddhism, but nonetheless my favorite one.
what is that? Go into that.
Zen is kind of like none of it really matters. It's kind of like the nihilistic view.
Nihilism.
Yeah, kind of, but like in a good way. So
Well, I mean, that's what Buddhism is almost nihilism, but in the most positive way, I think.
so like Buddhism is basically Zen Buddhism is the act of trying to stay meditating all the time.
Oh, okay.
To where in the back of your head, there's always that clear space of just you, with nothing else, not your emotion, not anything.
I like that.
Yeah. And it's good to get to. And like I'm not there. That's what they call enlightenment to some extent. And usually those types of people can perform miracles, which is really weird because it can be scientifically proven to some extent. There's been like people who can control the temperatures of their hands in different spots and control the whole temperature of their body, raise it, lower it.
And those are people that they would
Just
say have
through
their
meditation.
chakras mastered.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then other people who didn't care to go and try to prove it, because why would you if you were truly enlightened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get
But
that.
we
That's
could
probably
finally
Buddha's
pull
whole idea about
all
it.
these different influences together and really segregate out like from each different of these religions and theories and mechanisms. When we really have this shit figured out, I think that's true enlightenment. Like that
Oneism.
Yeah, it's going to be more than just within the individual spirit, because we're all the same, we're all in the universe experiencing itself, blah, blah.
That would be the singularity.
You think that would be, and I was actually going to get to that point, because that would, singularity would be influenced by technology, but technology is human.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's why I feel like I have these weird, these weird effects from technology whenever I'm on psychedelics.
Yeah,
I could see that for sure. It's like technology is our children almost.
Yeah.
It's definitely our creations.
I feel like technology is a vastly uninformed thing that we don't know much about, and we're kind of just blasting things into our cranium at all times. And any time that you can get away from it and just chill with yourself for a little bit, life is always better.
Yeah, get back to the basics for sure.
Yeah, and
that's
it's
why
not-
I
it's-
like
it's
to
not
put the
even-
phone down for days at a time.
And it's not even like get back to the basics. It's kind of like maybe we should have stayed with this, you guys.
Base
like all
base
of this-
reality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like all of this shit's super cool, but like, couldn't we have commingled a little better? Couldn't we like go back, revert, recock type shit? Like maybe the asteroid should hit. Fuck.
You said it was all back to the basics.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll never forget being on shrooms one day and walking to a speedway with my buddy Chris Brown. And I'm sitting there like, all right, I got to keep my shit together. I'm going to try to keep this hidden. But he goes in there and he's just blasted. And he says to the convenience store clerk.
Is he tripping too?
The clerk?
No, Chris Brown.
Chris, oh, yeah, he's tripping dick. I'm tripping dick. I'm sitting there like, I've kept the secret. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he comes crashing in there, and he tells the clerk, we're on shrooms. And I'll never fucking forget how hard it hit me when the clerk was just like, well, it's back to the basics now, boys. I'm like, whoa.
You hit
Holy
the next level of your
shit.
peak.
I did not
I
expect
feel like
it.
large quantities of mushrooms put you back to the basics, but small
For
quantities of mushrooms put you at a hyperhuman level where you're kind of an interdimensional being. to some extent.
Cognitively, definitely.
Yeah, dude. Like I microdosed for like 3 months and I gained like 5 IQ points. I swear to God.
Like, dude, there are so many microdosing haters out there. Like, you really don't think about it until you get on like a comment board or something of somebody's microdose post, and there's like at least 10 dudes in every microdose post that are talking about, oh, you just can't wait to, or you just can't not trip on a weekday, or like you can't wait till the weekend to trip. Like, that's their number one argument. I'm like, dude, if you're really using psychedelics and you're looking at people like that and looking down on people like a higher person or something just because you don't trip on a weekday,
I feel like generally, if you go to the
Like,
comments, you go for fighting.
Yeah, true,
You know what I
true.
mean? Like,
I shouldn't base anything off internet comments.
That's what I'm saying. Like anybody
Yeah.
who has the gumption and the time to go post something, it's generally negative. But if he was happy, they just agree with it, like it, and keep scrolling.
It's like
At least with
digging
me,
through
that's how it
the
is.
It's like
But-
digging through the trash and finding something nasty and being like, "Ew,
Oh, it's
something
gross.
nasty."
That might be the best analogy I've heard yet.
But I guess there is like a few real life instances where somebody will like be like, "Oh, you microdose," and like they'll just like look at me kind of sideways for it. Like the microdosing stigma might just be the same thing as like the psychedelic stigma. Honestly,
I think it probably is. People who don't really know what it is or what it does, they've maybe never done it, and there's always been a stigma around it. They're like, "You're doing what? Hard drugs on the daily? You're just doing small amounts and you think it's okay?"
Hard drugs.
Yeah, well, yeah, but generally people.
Yeah,
who
no, I
don't,
know. Everyone
like,
thinks it's a hard drug,
Yeah.
and it's not. Like I said earlier, it's not a drug in my.
I mean, it's a hard
in
drug
my
in the
opinion.
fact,
I think-
in the fact that I don't want to drive on a psychedelic.
Well, no,
Oh,
you
I
shouldn't drive
do.
on alcohol either. Do you call that a hard drug though?
He says he does, but
Well, I
it's like-
want to. It's a bad idea, but I want to. It is like I have done it once before on accident, and it is such a good
I
I
time.
mean,
mean,
on
if you're
purpose
at
more
a
than
safe
once,
level, then it's fine.
No, I was not at a safe level.
But
and
if
it was
you're
the
peaking, no, do
No.
not even think
Oh,
about
no,
touching
no,
your keys.
don't do it. But it is a fucking fun time. Don't ever like you will die. I'm amazed that I'm alive.
every time I drove on acid, I was
I'm morbidly dumb. Remember?
Yeah.
I would see a cop and I would be like, "Look, cop." In my mind, I would be like, "Look, cop. I know I'm driving straight and perfectly fine. My tags are good, and I got insurance, and you can't pull me over right now. I just really wish you would. I don't want to drive anymore. I know you know something's wrong with me. Just let's go on and get this over with, please.
Right.
Take me to jail."
You just don't want to be behind the wheel that bad.
I always feel like you should be able to notice you're a bad cop. Like if a cop sees me and I just like walk past and he doesn't notice, I feel like I see people all the time, random ass people, and I can always tell when somebody's on drugs. Even if they're just smoking a little bit of weed, I can usually tell. It's in the way they walk.
Really? And the way they move their legs.
And just
And
body
the bounce
language,
in their
just body
step.
language in general. You know what I mean? People kind of have more of a like an upbeat.
I
thing to them if
definitely
they're
have
little
a
high.
I
They're
definitely have a
little looser.
body thing going on all the time with me where you can tell what kind of mood I'm in or anything.
Mhm.
You know?
Most people do. Most people don't realize that they do, but most people do have a body language, and that's even like why some people are less likable than other people because they have like standoffish body
A
language.
nasty body language
yeah,
all the time.
and
yeah.
you're like you subconsciously notice these things,
Yeah.
and like you don't even know why you don't like that person. You just don't like them because your
They
brain
give off that vibe.
Well, yeah, there's like 4 categories that you can get put in. Like your monkey brain is the first thing that reacts when they see a person,
Uh-huh.
and there's 4 categories. You can fuck them, you can fight them, they can be your friend, or they can be something else, or they just don't matter.
Some negative.
No,
like,
it's just
type thing
literally
to you.
they're literally nothing because like most
Well, you got to
humans-
have a fifth then, because there are some people that you look at and you're like, man, I fucking hate that person.
Well, yeah, that foe. That's what I mean.
Oh, you
Like,
said
yeah,
foe, my
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
You get like it's either
Fight them,
yeah,
yeah,
a lover, a fighter, a friend,
Yeah.
or like they just don't matter. Because 90% of all people, like 95 probably of all people that you see,
Yeah.
you won't even talk to.
Right.
So they just get put into a category of not matter.
Especially if
because
you're in a city.
Well, yeah, because think about if you cared about everybody that you walked by, like how bad life would be. Your brain can't operate that way. You know what I mean?
No, it's an overload.
Yeah, so like your brain puts people in categories pretty quickly before
I'm
you
a
even
foe.
do. Well, yeah, before you even do. You know what I mean?
Friend or foe with fees. New episode.
I feel like
New
people put
podcast.
fat ugly dudes in folk.
We're just gonna start having. You remember how last week you said there's people that you just drop. So like we'll start having those people on. And we'll be like friend or foe with fees. You know, that'll be a new little segment we can do.
We're just clicking through like Tinder, like foe, fuck, friend. You know what I'm saying?
Within 4 minutes, you'll realize who the foe is in the room.
Or we could just bring in like questionable characters, characters that you're on the fence about.
You've already done that.
Friend or foe with
They,
fees.
they just stand on a platform and we're like, foe, get the fuck out of here.
You've already brought a questionable human into the room, and I'm
bring,
right here.
We'll bring the chick back that walked out in disgrace.
Fuck.
I don't know what that is. I don't get it.
Oh,
I didn't see that one.
Well, yeah, because it's not public, but I'll show you later. That's
I
pretty
see.
great.
All right, let's switch it up a little. So let's go into your 2068 meteor talk. Let's go ahead and bring that one up.
Okay, so
Tell us what you read first.
yesterday I was reading from Nat Geo, which is a reputable site.
Very reputable.
At least in what I've seen, they used to put the truth out. It's not like clickbaity shit.
Yeah, they're probably not bought by the politics and capitalists, so
They might be.
I
feel like
there's
they
always
are,
a chance.
I feel
Anybody
like
who's up in that top tier of something, there's always a chance.
well, I feel like they all are. They're all slimy at the top, but like generally they put out facts because they're not touching on political shit. You know what I mean?
Right. They have no affiliation.
Right. Like why choose if you don't have to?
Right.
But I was reading on there that
Well, I feel like if they have Graham Hancock on there, they aren't really.
well, this wasn't from Graham Hancock.
Oh, okay.
I've just been reading a whole lot of Graham Hancock books lately, but he's a super.
Oh, my
fucking
bad.
interesting dude.
Earlier, I thought I might have just tied those together.
You may have.
They weren't together.
Well, see, that's the thing. Since 1995, he's been saying that that's what all of these ancient civilizations were pointing to.
Right.
With the pyramids, with Mesopotamia, with all of these things, we're pointing to that the Earth was going to end between 1960 and 1940, or at least another comet was going to hit.
Right.
And
No comments hit.
well, no comets have hit, but it's not 2040 yet.
Oh,
However,
yeah.
so in the summer and the winter equinox, June, December, right? The Earth passes through the most dense part of an asteroid belt every year. So if we're going to get hit by a meteor, it's going to be right around there. That's where December comes from in the Mayan calendars.
Okay.
Because
It's December 21st. It's like a major 22nd. Even it's a major date across like anything.
Well, okay,
even
so
like there's like a big spiritual shift in energy that's supposed to happen this year on December 22nd.
yeah, well, the summer equinox or the winter equinox or the winter solstice, I guess is what it would be, is December 21st.
When the sun dies on the crux
Mm-hmm.
for 3 days.
That's what
and
it
then
is.
is resurrected.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's similarities
Does
between
that
all
story
that shit.
sound familiar? Anybody?
Okay, but the whole idea behind it is that all of these stories are messages from a civilization of antiquity before they got hit by a meteor.
Right.
Trying to give us a message.
Yeah.
Trying to give a worthy enough people a message that you're gonna get fucked up again. Now, within the last 2 days, yesterday is when I was reading the article that they've seen a meteor that is on an impact course for Earth in 2068.
True.
And it's 12 kilometers long. That would wipe out everything on the face of the Earth.
Those ancient civilizations weren't very far off.
They weren't very far off. And also, it could definitely be something that we can't see because all of the ancient texts from those civilizations, specifically Egypt and like the people before the Incas.
The South Americans, yeah.
Well, yeah. So like there was Incas, and we know they were about 1,000 years ago.
And
And
the
then,
people who built the structures down there.
yeah.
They built over a lot of shit.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like everybody says that the Incans built all of the shit in South America, when in reality, it seems as if they've built over 2 civilizations of shit. Like one civilization built over an even further back one. But it seems like all of it points to that the world is going to end in the dawning of the age of Aquarius, which started in 1960. That's why you hear that song. You know what I mean?
I thought Aquarius started before Jesus was around. Like
No.
right when Jesus was supposed to be born. That's when the age of Aquarius started.
I'm about to blow your mind. That's when the age of Pisces started.
No. Yeah, that's right.
What's
Pisces.
the
We're
sign
going
for Pisces?
into Aquarius.
What's the sign
it's a
for
fish.
Pisces?
I know. That's
a
why
fucking
everyone
fish, homie.
Christian has the fish on the back of their car. It's because we're in the age of Pisces. Yeah, I had Aquarius and Aquarius mixed up.
Okay.
So I know that as of like I read that it was 2150 is whenever the age of the Aquarius started.
No, the age of Aquarius has already started, indeed.
When was that?
In the early 60s. Like the song
Really?
The Dawning of the Age of Aquarius was because we were in the dawning of a new time.
So
a new era.
people were still putting the fishes on their car and shit, even though we weren't in that age of time.
Well, yeah,
no
because
more?
it's associated with Jesus. It
Well,
has
yeah,
nothing to
I know
do. Yeah,
that.
but they just don't realize that Jesus really is a paganistic thing.
Yeah.
And it's just been modified by Catholicism and the church.
Oh, man.
And Catholicism ran everything. They were the government of
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
You
probably
can't-
still
you can't
are.
treat them like,
They probably still are.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't treat them like just a religion because of the fact that they literally ran the world. Like,
Our entire family is Catholic, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
never forget one Easter telling somebody, a family member, the tradition of Ishtar. That it's spring, it's fertile. That's why you have the bunny that lays eggs and so forth. this is, you know,
It's all a fertility
spring
ritual.
celebration for fertility, and the pagan goddess Ishtar. And I'll never forget my very Catholic aunt overhearing all this stuff and horror and like, no, this is Jesus's rebirth, and I'm like, rebirth, kind of like a birth, kind of like fertility. And she was like, yeah.
She thought you were a Satan worshiper after that.
I'm like, yeah, no, that's what it really is. And she's like, you're crazy.
And like, I'm not hating on Christianity at all. Like, there's a lot of good meaning and symbolism in it. Like, that's what I think the Bible is best for, is symbolism.
I think unfortunately it doesn't.
And
change
morals.
people. I think unfortunately it doesn't change people.
No, well,
It makes shitty people shittier.
your monkey brain's still ruled by greed and want.
It makes good people in a bad way better, but it makes bad people in a bad way worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It just gives them the appearance of being good when really deep down they're still seedy and dirty, and they still act that way. They just hide it.
And it's a good front for the rest of the population.
Oh yeah, and it's
most likely also
whole,
sheep.
It's a whole lot easier to run the world when really you're telling everybody that you're just trying to bring them to Jesus.
Dude, I saw this
Trying
one.
to save their eternal soul.
I saw this one theory where like it was like aliens had spread out Christianity so far and like wanted everybody to believe it so that like they could keep feeding off the interdimensional energy type thing that we put off from it because we aren't in tune with spirituality. I mean, that's just like crazy bullshit talk, but like, dude, your emotion has an energy. You're putting off something whenever you're happy, sad, angry, frustrated. You know, I'd say probably negative emotions probably put off more energy in my opinion. But like, I don't know, some of my highs are just as high as some of my lows are low.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And there's energy circulating. There's something happening that we can't conceive almost, and that's why we label them as emotions, you know?
You want to hear a theory that's an offshoot of that?
Of course.
That probably no human has ever heard other than me, because I made it up.
Exclusive.
Okay, so we know that electrons can affect each other over vast distances. The furthest that we've seen is in space. We isolated an electron and we changed its rotation. On Earth, the correlated paired electron, the quantumly entangled electron, without hesitation also changed directions. Right? So there's something invisible there that they're communicating. We don't know how they're communicating. What is your brain but electrons firing? Your brain is literally just electrons firing. It's electromagnetic shit in your head firing to make
Pulses,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just electricity. It's just electricity, and all electricity is a bunch of electrons. It's fucking
Movement.
Yeah, it's just movement of electrons from one
Movement
thing
and
into
potential.
another. Yeah, and if your brain is creating electricity, then it's obviously moving around the particles and converting and doing all these things as well. But what we don't realize is that what if when we have, you know how thoughts are kind of like, you might have an idea and then over the next 2 months, seems like everybody's starting to catch on, even though you haven't said shit about it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I feel like that's because the shit that we think in our head is contagious as fuck.
It's like a Wi-Fi signal.
Well, yeah, it's like a Wi-Fi signal, only in the effect that my brain chemistry can change your brain chemistry. We know that because I can talk to you and change your emotions.
Right.
But also, I feel like my thoughts, if I have a thought, I can plant it in your head and it can blossom, right? But I feel like if I have a thought and I'm manipulating electrons in my head, then it's very, very feasible that causes a chain reaction in the immediate area.
You know, we did.
You know what I mean? Like, even going back to Tesla, that's what he was doing with the free energy shit with the electricity in the air. That's what he was doing. He was manipulating electrons in such a way that there was, you know, electricity potential in the air.
Right.
It's the same thought, basically, only it's the electricity potential that we create in our head. And I think it's very possible that whenever I start thinking a different way, the people around me do as well, even if I don't say anything. And it's something that you can't control other than trying to control your own thoughts, which is a very hard thing to do.
You can't conceive that thought either of how that happens.
We did an experiment on this already.
Oh, yeah.
You and I did.
Mm-hmm.
Second time we ever tripped. We recorded.
Oh, that's like some remote viewing type thing.
Well, we recorded like 40 minutes of audio of a deep conversation that we were all having while on LSD. And then we replayed it. And it was just us laughing.
That is fact.
But everybody knows that was in that room that there was a conversation.
Yeah.
But you play back the recording and there's nothing but laughter.
We sound like monkeys.
Yeah.
And then somebody would like burp or something, everybody would break. It was rough sounding, but it was dope when it was happening. But we definitely were talking about some shit.
Yeah.
I don't really know what we were talking about. I think mainly we were just talking about like how much we could conceive of that we couldn't before.
Yeah, and shit like that. Erica and her time loop.
That's actually a really cool thought experiment. Dude, like how much you can conceive now compared to when you could 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. I feel like every drug I do kind of opens a door. Some of the doors are good, some of the doors are bad.
I don't even feel like it's that because I might change more after an acid trip than during an acid trip. I will like maybe change more 2 weeks after an acid trip is what I'm saying.
But you carved out a new neurological pathway and you're starting to follow it.
I believe that, yeah, it shows you different ways for sure. Psychedelics in general.
That's factual. We can see that like since psychedelics are being tested upon now,
right?
They have put people in brain imaging machines while they've been on psychedelics, and we can see that there are
Mushrooms.
different. LSD and mushrooms.
I know psilocybin has definitely created new pathways for people.
It's the
They
same-
talk
it's
about
the
that a
same
lot in
with
the
LSD.
John Hopkins study.
Well, different parts of the brain talk when that don't normally talk.
Psilocybin is the best for the growth of new pathways.
Yeah. Well, and that's all like that's the reason that it's so good for addiction and things like that, because all addiction is a very, very carved out neurological pathway.
Yeah.
That's helped along by chemicals. And if you take away the chemicals and you recarve a new pathway, then it's not that hard to kick it.
That's why Johns Hopkins did a study where they treated alcoholics with psilocybin, and for the short term, more than 80% were able to quit for a couple weeks, and in the long term, 40% were able to abstain for several months.
I saw one from, who is it that is doing all of the main studies? It's not John Hopkins.
I think it's somewhere in Denver or Oregon.
Yeah, it is in Denver, but I'm trying to think of what the name of it is.
I know in Oregon they're doing a lot of studies with it now too.
We have it's decriminalized and it's widely kind of just done, and it grows wild everywhere in Oregon. You know what I mean?
Because of that rainforest.
Well,
the North American rainforest.
It's really hard to make something illegal when like it's just in people's backyards. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go arrest them if they can't? But they don't know mycology.
DMT illegal and it's in your brain right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody's holding.
That is true. But I feel like DMT is only illegal if you're stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
most things are only illegal if you're stupid.
Well, no, but like I'm saying if you get pulled over with some DMT, most cops aren't gonna know what the fuck it is. They're gonna think it's coke or something like that, but it's gonna be yellow. Just like they're not gonna know what it is. Same with LSD or. They know what mushrooms are for sure. A lot of times, if you do the right things with LSD, they don't. Like, it's very hard to find out. It's just paper. It's odorless. It's the easiest one to hide for sure.
Maybe you should get like one of those vacation bottles that you see in the little cheap surf shops along everywhere on the U.S. coastline, and empty it out and put like cocaine and DMT in there.
You could.
I wouldn't want to mix my cocaine and DMT.
I feel like I would get to meet all the gods.
I don't like cocaine.
I'm saying cocaine or DMT.
Yeah. No, I got you. I was just making it funny.
Cocaine.
What do you think about cocaine?
I didn't like it. I did it at a strip club.
Yeah, it's like the only place you can find cocaine anymore.
Well, no, like I can. That's the bad thing. I can always find. That's what I'm saying. Like I can always find cocaine. It seems to be the easiest thing to find.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I can't. I don't look for it at all. So
I feel like I have at least 4 people right now that can call me like, "Hey, you know where I can get some coke?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, I got you, bro."
Well, that's true. I guess I do have a couple of those people too.
It's not that hard to find, but
right.
Like I don't know. It kind of made me like jittery. A little bit, and then like I had fast thoughts, but mainly my throat was just kind of drippy.
I was definitely jittery, but
my face was a little numb. I don't know.
Other than that, it didn't do anything for me.
I get more out of pot, bro. Like,
yeah, definitely. I get way more out of pot.
I did it once.
Ruin your life for a numb face when you get smoke some pot and question the universe.
Yeah. Did it once. Actually, went through a really dark phase afterwards. No.
I did it one day. I did like a gram or two over the course of like several hours. Skated my brains out.
That would be fun, I bet.
Yeah.
Because you would be like, fuck that pain.
It's the activities. I shouldn't have been at a strip club, just sitting still.
Yeah.
Yeah. and then I was skateboarding and constantly worried about having a heart attack, and that's about it. Like, you know, just like, is this gonna kill me?
Fucking speaking of heart attacks,
It'd be more likely from meth, probably.
when I said that we tripped about a month ago, me and my roommate Max, he full on thought that he was having a heart attack for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Is he like not inexperienced?
No, he's done plenty of drugs. Like he has health problems anyways. Like he was born without a thyroid. He's got real bad carpal tunnel in his hands, and he's got like weight problems, or he had weight problems. He's actually lost a lot of weight.
Yeah,
But-
he didn't look too morbidly
Yeah,
obese.
well, whenever he got there,
That's the word of the day.
He's lost about 40 pounds since he moved in. So I mean,
Really?
he's doing good, but like,
I didn't notice the change.
Yeah.
I know I met him whenever you guys first moved in, and then I saw him recently.
it was all in the gut.
Really.
It was all in the gut.
Well, good for Max.
Yeah, but for he went to go get us some water. We were sitting by a fire. We just sitting by a fire, bullshitting. It was raining a little bit. It was good. Rain and fire, good.
Can I cut you off real quick?
Yeah.
Fire while on a psychedelic experience is like the best, isn't it?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
just sitting
Oh,
there
yeah.
watching,
Dances.
hanging out,
It's
dude. Yeah,
fucking
it dances.
fantastic,
It's
yeah.
alive in a way.
Yeah, it's fantastic. There's definitely something to it.
Yeah.
But we were just sitting out there in the backyard, and like he went to go get water. So I was like, I'm gonna fuck with him hard, and I climbed the tree. And I was hiding like I was a good 15 feet off the ground in the tree. I was just hiding up there watching the fire, trying to figure out which branch was more comfortable.
Yeah.
It seemed like some of them were squishy and some of them were real hard. I don't know. It was the drugs for sure, but some of them were great. Some of them felt like fucking mattresses. But I finally got to a comfortable one. I was like just laying up there watching the fire from like way up.
Whoa,
And-
this branch is wavy.
Well, yeah, and he was going for like 10 or 15 minutes. So like he comes out and he's like holding his chest and he's only got one glass of water. And I was like,
Oh,
oh
no.
shit, he should have brought me water.
Oh no,
So
Max.
I get down. He's like, I don't know, my arm hurts, my fucking chest hurts. I don't know. I'm probably just tripping out. I'm like, wait, hold on, your arm and your chest hurts. And I was like, what do you mean your arm? He's like, I feel like there's like an elephant sitting on my chest and my left arm's throbbing real bad. And I was like, oh, okay, well that sounds like you're having a heart attack. And that was the mistake. Because once I put it out there, it was fact. He was like, oh, yep, I am. Oh, yeah. For like the next 30 minutes, like, cut to 10 minutes later, we're walking back, trying to find our way, like, looking for the keys.
Yeah.
He's like, are you good to drive? And I'm like, oh, no. But we will get there, my friend.
Nobody wants to go to a hospital in the middle
Dude,
of
I
a
know. We were
psychedelic
tripping out. And
experience
then,
either.
like, we came inside. We were about to go to the car. He was like, I'm going to go and put my dog in the kennel before we go. And, like, he went up there and laid down in a dark room. I go up there 5 minutes
Fixed it.
later. Yeah, I'm going to go up there 5 minutes later. He's like, I was just real high, you guys. I'm sorry.
Just needed to lay down in
Right.
silent darkness for a minute.
Yep. It always seems to, I don't know. Silent darkness is what everybody's afraid of when they die.
It's
just
the
absolute
best
silent
when
darkness
you're in
forever.
the middle of a psychedelic
I think
experience,
that's
dude.
why it's gonna be cool when you die too, because you're gonna wake up in there and be like, "Well, it's dark, but it doesn't mean I'm not here."
Well, I don't think it's dark when you die.
Oh, I think it's dark.
I don't think it's dark. I
The-
think you're
the
back into
Changa-
the energy field of where your consciousness came from, where your soul came from, and it's like just that feeling of overwhelming raw emotion and
Waiting to
energy.
respawn.
The Changa,
maybe
Changa
waiting to
made me think-
respawn into the next dimension or reality or whatever.
The Changa made me think that it was dark.
I could see that because in my Changa experience, it was a little dark. But I
Well-
think that's because it was Changa and 30 to 70% instead of 100%.
Yeah, that's probably true. But I went.
Plus, whenever you're on yours, did you and then hit that third one?
I did like I think on the first one I did 3, just like that, and on the second one I did 4.
Nice.
Yeah, because
And it was still dark on that fourth one.
it was the fourth one was where it was the darkest, which is weird
Really?
because like so I went somewhere, and then there was a voice. Because like the first time I never made it to the breakthrough thing. Like I was just
Yeah.
kind of floating around the
Yeah, I
realms.
never broke through on my first
There,
one.
there
either.
was, I could hear shit talking to me. You know what I mean? But it was like it was me.
Yeah.
It's always me. Even like when the interdimensional things talk to me, like on LSD, like any of this shit, it's always me. It's just like a different kind of me, the higher me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a different form. Whatever lives on that realm that is me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it.
But it said that you can come in here basically and see what this kind of stuff is about, or you can see what death is about. Because I've always been about death. I've always been kind of a morbid person, right?
Yeah.
So immediately I was like, well, fucking kill me then. Like, I want to see what this death is about because I know I'm not going to die from no DMT, bro.
Take me, daddy.
Well, I know I'm not going to die from no DMT. So, like, he was like, all right. And it smacked me. But it was like a God smack.
Yeah.
Like, it smacked
So your essence left your physical vessel?
Yeah, it smacked my soul out of what, see, like, I thought that when I got pulled out of my body that was my soul. But I guess it wasn't. That was just like, I guess the astral me, because whatever, it smacked something out of me. And then I was like, well, fuck, I'm going to go stay with that. And it was like, yeah, you better. So so I went.
Do what I say, boy.
Yeah, but it shot into this like dark, thick, black tar looking shit.
The ether.
Yeah, it just shot into there. So like I go after it and it's all dark and it's all fucking ethery. And I get to the other side and it's just like floating absolute darkness. Kind of like the vacuum of space. Just like darkness as far as the eye can see. But I can float, I can breathe. And I like re-merge with whatever it smacked out of me, and I'm just in the darkness. I'm like, well, fuck, I didn't want to know that death was nothing. but I was like, okay, well, that's not nothing, because obviously I'm here.
Yeah.
So it's not nothing, it's absolutely everything, because I'm absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Literally, formed into just a consciousness.
Right.
So in the darkness, I took what I know about physics and tried to recreate the universe. And it worked until the voice came in my ear. It was like time to come back and my universe exploded. And I'm almost positive there was life on that bitch. At least in my mind there was.
Dude, one of my more recent theories, looking at DMT logically instead of spiritually, because I try to do that. I try to like not lean too hard one way and try to look at it from other ways also. So like another one of my like theories about a DMT trip was like your pineal gland is always really sore afterwards. Do you agree?
Is it?
Do you think? I mean, you had the two changa.
No.
I didn't have any soreness right there.
I didn't specifically feel
you?
that.
I definitely did. All 3 times. And like the second time here, me and Eric did it one night.
Is your pineal gland right here?
It's like right there.
I thought it sat right under like your amygdala, like right where your spinal.
I mean, it goes pretty far back, like
I thought it
sit.
Okay, so
it sits like down into the cortex.
There's 3 parts of the brain. I thought it was like there's the monkey brain, which is like your cortex, like your main shit that operates.
It definitely connects to your cortex.
Yeah, and then there's like an offshoot that is like your pineal gland and like whatever activates when you sleep, like the neurotoxin that shoots into you to where you don't act out your dreams. And then there's your prefrontal cortex, all this shit.
That's where your most of your pineal gland is actually located, is inside in the meat of your
the monkey in the prefrontal cortex. Yeah. And it's I don't know anything about
the part that they can't explain how we got.
Yeah, it kind of just grew over the last 200,000 years, and we've never seen that on any other animal ever.
I blame mushrooms, but we already talked about stoned ape.
I do blame mushrooms, and I also blame aliens, but I think that mushrooms are aliens.
Mushrooms are more logical in my perspective, but at the same time not, because space is just so vast and
I think they're one and the same.
That like it's almost impossible for there not to be life.
I think mushrooms are aliens. Now hear me out. They're the most predominant thing on Earth.
Dude, they
just listen.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
They're the most predominant thing on Earth. The trees literally use the mycelium of the mushrooms like the internet. They talk to each other with it. And it's not a plant. It's way closer to a living organism like a mammal than even anywhere near a plant. So we don't actually know what it is. And up to a certain date, we don't even know where it came from. It's not always been here.
And it's crazy to me how they communicate underground, because one strand, as long as it's like on the same rock that we call a continent, and it's not cut off by the ocean or whatever, it can communicate from Florida to Washington.
Oh yeah, no, it's connected
almost telepathically.
Thoroughly, yeah. It definitely seems like one of the most alien things on this planet, and it's weird that it takes us to alien realms. I think that's just a strange correlation. You know what I mean?
Like
it's very possible that is an ancient. I think if we met aliens and we showed them mushrooms, they'd be like, "Hey, bro, we got some of these too. Who's fucking sending out the mushrooms?" Yeah. You know what I mean? Like fucking finding Prometheus type shit.
Hey, but I was in the middle of the DMT theory. So no, you're good. I got off on the different track too. So pretty much one of my theories is that like it might just take you, because I noticed every time my pineal gland, like middle of my forehead area, is super sore anytime afterwards. So like maybe it just takes us from the pineal gland into our mind through like a different like understanding. Like we're in a different perspective because we're like traveling inward instead of what we think usually as outward. Because I know I definitely felt like it was outward for the longest, but there's a huge possibility that it could be inward. And that's where like, I feel like, on my last one, I had a lot of death emotions going on. And like how you say, like in your experience, there was a lot of like death emotion type stuff going on in there. So like if that's always on our mind and always in our subconscious, why wouldn't we get that if we were traveling inward instead of actually outward?
Ooh,
right.
God damn.
Dude,
Y'all really do be thinking about this stuff a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Blowing my mind with
mine and Tristan's
So-
next episode, we might microdose. Y'all are really going to get
We
some
might
good material.
macro dose 5 grams.
I don't know about that. I can't talk once I get so
You're not
far.
supposed to.
You're not supposed to. Clearly from your
We
own.
need to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, we really don't.
But I bet I could look into that camera and they'd know what I want. They know what I'd be saying.
Y'all are going to feel this raw emotion flying through.
Do you want to hear something real crazy?
Of course.
Okay. So, do you have an internal dialogue? Voices in your head,
Yeah,
so to
that's your
speak.
conscious.
Yeah, but that's not a real thing.
It's like strains.
I
It's
already know what you're gonna
strains.
say.
Yeah, okay.
I know
believe-
who you're going to mention.
Yeah, Erica,
next.
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
so
believe
my
that-
wife doesn't have that.
Really?
No. Her thoughts are connected by strings of something that she doesn't even know. She doesn't know what it is. It's just strings. Then she can draw it, and it looks like the Trippy Realm. And it's very strange that, like, since she doesn't have an internal dialogue, what she sees in her head is extremely similar to what you see in your head when you go into these realms
Really?
on a normal basis.
So hold on. I need you to elaborate a bit more on.
She's not the only one. It's just actually a decent size of the
I've
population.
never
Yeah.
heard of someone that doesn't have a voice in their head, like
She
you're a
finds
thought
it-
pattern going, like you thinking, and then like portraying a voice in your head, like you would a vision
Most
if you were
people
imagining.
don't even have just one. They have multiple based on emotions.
Yeah.
And some people have none.
Erica has none.
I mean, I believe I have more than one, and like I'm not just one conscious. I'm like a strain of like a network of conscious.
I have
you know?
chatter.
Definitely, and it varies on like who has the microphone. You
Right.
know.
That's what Zen Buddhism is, the practice of putting the microphone down every once in a while so you can realize what you are.
I love that shit. I love meditating so much.
Well, and that's the thing, like, it's not even meditating. So, like, generally I wear, like, a band or a ring or something like that. And it's not for anything other than when I feel that thing on me, I know to go inward and just be a human for a second. Just be whatever I am. Instead of, like, clear all my thoughts, clear everything out, just chill for a second. Like, you're
Instead
just
of
here
wearing
right
your
now.
mask.
Well, yeah, just be in the now. Because, like, have you ever heard of last Thursdayism?
No.
It's gaining ground in the science community. because
Pronounce
can't
it
be
again?
Last Thursdayism.
Last Thursdayism.
It's the theory that all things were created last Thursday.
Yeah.
That don't make sense to me.
Okay. It's gaining ground, but it can't be disproven. Nothing with time can be proven at all. For all intents and purposes, the past does not exist. Neither does the future.
No,
No,
yeah,
I-
everything
the only-
is just a giant now. That's what I was talking about earlier with the
Right.
illusion of time. Is that it's not.
The
It's
whole-
I
a.
don't
It's a
think-
faulty tool. Time is that we use. It
As-
works here on Earth.
As far as scientists go, like this group, I watch their videos. Quantum gravity research. All time affects all time, all the time. So you 5 minutes ago influences you 10 minutes in the future, just like you 10 minutes in the future influences you as a 5-year-old child, as in you as a 5-year-old child influences you on your deathbed.
Yeah.
And so it's time is it exists, but it's not a constant. It's everywhere.
I like to think of me, whatever I am, like whatever the core aspect of a human is. I like to think of that as a fucking rocket ship. You know what I mean? And the momentum of good ship, and the momentum of good shit, as some would call good karma, is what projects you forward. And bad karma isn't projecting you backward, it's just stuttering you, so you're going to get lost in space.
Okay.
So, like, the only way, and it's weird because it goes into religion as well. Like, so if you break it down, religion, all religions are basically, you right now are a human. I am a god. You have to live this way to be able to come and live with me forever. to be able to cross over into this plane to become a god.
Right.
To be able to actually live here, you have to do these things. It's not necessarily that any of these things are good and bad. This is just the only way that you can take the leap from human to God. And that goes back thousands and thousands of years in Christianity and all of these things. At the base, all it is a way to transfer. And, all of it at its base is just generally try to be nice.
Right.
Try to be nice. Try to fucking, don't work for the bad reasons. That's a big one. Working for bad reasons is a really big one, I feel like, because it influences everything in your life. The only thing that you're ever supposed to work for is just love. You're working for money, but that money pays for the love. And that sounds gross, but it really does because of the fact that how are you going to live your life without money? This is the system that we've made for ourselves.
Yeah. I've been attaching myself to that kind of idea a lot recently. It's helped me with
makes work easier.
It does. It makes being at work easier, going to work easier for sure. Because I know for a while it's just why am I wasting my time here?
I got in a rut. I got in a rut for quite a bit, bud.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm totally against capitalism and working 40 hours a week just to provide for your family because that's more than 40 hours a week. That's 50 plus hours a week in my instance, at least every week that I'm getting away from my family and it's affecting me because then when I'm with my family, I have to sleep.
Right. Driving 60 hours plus a week was pure mental torture.
Yeah. It's the worst, dude.
Yeah.
I really...
My plan, as of right now, is to, I'm probably going to buy, 20 acres within the next, year. And that's, I want to get 100 total. And my plan is, I'm going to build a cabin. It's going to be solar. It's going to have a well. It's going to be to where I don't have to pay for anything specifically.
Yeah.
And then, from there, I don't ever have to work again because of the fact that I just pay that off. Pay off the land, pay off the cabin. After I'll get the equity in my home.
Start farming.
Yeah, and then I'll just if I need money, I'll just go to a farmer's market and sell my shit.
Right.
It's really not that big of a deal. But the whole thing is I want 100 acres or 200 acres. I want a large amount of land. Yeah. That way I can give all the people that I love 2 or 3 acres.
So you pretty much have a compound.
Well, yeah, but I don't even want it to be a compound. You can do literally whatever you want on this land. It's just if you get tired of society, come here, grow me potatoes because I'm not good at growing them.
I think everybody.
You know what I mean?
I think everybody's
and then that's
tired
the only
of this
thing
society.
that you have to do. I'll give you my shit, you give me your shit. We'll live like humans are supposed to live. I'm good. I would like one of those if you don't mind.
I don't mind. Man. It is a wrong way to live, and so many people have been forced to it, and now it's the norm, and it's just the cycle we're stuck in, dude. It's all about breaking cycles. We gotta figure it out.
Unfortunately, I feel like it's all about, to some extent, everybody's so dumb, man. It's about IQ. IQs play a huge role, and I'm not saying that my IQ's high. I'm just saying that I like to learn.
Yeah, no, I have a dumb IQ for sure.
I feel like a vast majority of the population, once they get out of school, school's fucking out. They're done. That's who they're going to be when they die.
Yeah.
See,
you know what I mean? And that's a problem, homie.
Without psychedelics, that would have been me.
Oh, that would have been me too.
Almost honestly, 100% for sure, I would have worked myself to the ground.
You think you're done because you're not a scholarly gentleman.
And I know I'm intelligent to an extent.
I think
you're above.
I'm not a scientist by any means, but I know I'm not stupid either.
I just think it's important for anybody. Doesn't matter how smart you are, how dumb you are. At least study psychology.
Yeah.
Out of all the things, at least study how your own fucking brain works.
That's basic understanding, right?
Well, yeah. So you don't just float through your emotions and you don't even know why they're happening. That's something that I figured out a couple years ago.
I feel like
it took me 20 years to figure out that emotions didn't just happen.
Yeah, I feel like that is one topic that should definitely be taught at least in high school.
Oh yeah.
Along with physics, and of course, I mean the one that everybody goes to on that is how to do your taxes.
I don't even think that should be in high school. I think that should be done away with. They know how much fucking money I owe them.
True, they
know how much money they owe me. They can make it easy.
Tabs.
They could just send me the fucking check.
They're
Why do I have
keeping me
to do
under
my
tabs
taxes?
every 2 weeks.
They know how much because if I don't pay it, they fucking charge me extra.
And they're taking it anyway. So why don't they have receipt of that?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's all set up. It's literally set up to be confusing, so you have to pay the fees.
It's foolery. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's very.
It's almost like snake oil salesman type of a scammy.
It is. It's unfortunate and it's fortunate that it's like that. It's unfortunate because of the fact that it is that way, but it's fortunate because of the fact that I feel like more and more people are realizing that it is that way.
Yeah.
And I think that will inevitably change the future for the better. I don't know where we're going, but I feel like all of the trends, every single trend, if you look at it, is getting better. We're less racist. There's less war. We're less greedy.
Yeah.
We're fucking up the earth less. We're trending in a good direction.
Progress takes time.
Oh yeah.
I know where we're going. Every one of us is going to end up back in the net of consciousness when it's all done. Close your physical. You close your eyes on that physical vessel for the last time.
Just like
that's where you're going, bud.
Sit back into the net of consciousness.
Do you know where I'm going?
Where's that?
I'm gonna hold that net, bud.
You going to Tampa, Florida?
No, I'm gonna hold that net. That fucking consciousness that I'm the one fucking collecting you bitches.
You are the sock. I am the sperm.
Yeah.
I believe
Jizz into me with your consciousness.
I believe we might just all be toes on a foot that we can't perceive.
That's very
We're
possible.
just all same being, same person, just
it's crazy that they
experiencing itself in many different ways.
That's Horton Hears a Who right there, bud.
He just wants to lick them
Dr.
toes.
Seuss got him.
Yeah, only toes coming soon for sure.
Coming hard.
Can you imagine if your toes were the things that came and they come instead of fucking like you did? You imagine how different life would be right now?
Oh shit.
We were talking about pineal gland ejaculation the other night. That kind of reminds me of that. Like, what if you could perceive sex through your pineal gland?
You want to hear some crazy fucking shit?
Always.
You can. Have you ever? So, do you buy into hypnotism at all?
Yeah,
Okay, so
for sure.
if you really
If
look
you
at
believe in psychology, I feel like you kind of have to believe in
because it's fact.
hypnotism.
But it's fact, right?
Because, I mean, your brain is malleable.
Well, and it's downplayed because of the fact that it was always supposed to be like magic.
A trick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like it was, the Earth's been Christian for a couple hundred years, guys. Like, it's bad to be
A couple-
magic.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
1,000 years.
Like 2,000
at
years.
least.
And for 2,000 years, it's been bad to be magic. And that's not really magic, but I could see how it could be perceived as magic for sure. But really, if you look at it, it is based in fact, and it is based in science.
I feel like
hard
it's-
science.
I feel like it's more like ventriloquism. Like you're kind of just pulling strings on somebody
it's
to
not
make
even
them
that.
react a certain way.
It's not even that. I feel like being a stand-up comedian, like right now.
Hey.
I feel like right now what
Shout
you're
out.
doing is you're learning a form of hypnotism because like what you actually have to do,
cool.
what you actually have to do is you have to lead somebody on a story and they have to believe it enough for them to be surprised at the punchline.
Yeah.
It has to be like that's the whole reaction of a laugh.
Or
is-
totally bought into the purity
Yeah,
of it.
that's what I'm saying. So you can get
found
them
that
with that
out.
kick. But all hypnotism is like you can't just walk up to somebody on the street and be like, bam, and they're hypnotized. Like you have to.
They have to buy into it.
Right, like most people can be hypnotized if they can just believe in hypnotism. That's the whole thing.
I could definitely turn it off and like reject the hypnotism.
Oh,
if
yeah,
it was
for sure.
Tried to be forced upon me.
Oh yeah,
Most of the time, unless it's like subliminally, and then I don't know enough about
Yeah,
that. So
see-
MK Ultra probably already got me.
yeah, and that is kind of worrisome because of the fact that like there's hundreds and hundreds of documents of like all this shit that's been downplayed for the last 50 years at the very least by the government, like hypnotism and all these things. When really they were
Mind
pouring,
control.
Well, yeah, when really they were pouring millions and millions of dollars into figuring out how to do it. And I think because if you did, some of the things came up with good results, and that's why they stayed being funded. If things don't come back with results, they don't get funded anymore.
Right.
So like the fact
So
that
we
these
would have
things
never
were
heard
around
about
for
it if it
15,
didn't work.
20 years, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it wouldn't have continued to be funded. So like I think that they figured it out. Some like psychologists, hypnotists know probably more now than anybody in the government because that's just kind of how it goes. You figure out more along the ways.
Yeah.
And the government's generally dumb and slow. Science is very, very fast, and it's so specialized. It's so specialized. Like, you can talk to a particle physicist, and then you can talk to somebody who specializes in quirks and strange quirks and all this shit.
Yeah.
And the physicist, the general physicist, won't even know what the other person's talking about. It's so fucking specialized.
Yeah.
Like it goes so deep in so many different
too much
directions.
information going on in
Well,
this.
yeah, it goes so deep. Like information is infinite because matter is infinite. You know what I mean? Like if you want to figure some shit out, you got to figure everything out. And to figure out everything, you'll never figure out anything.
What is reality? What is reality?
What is reality? Depends on who's asking.
It's information.
It is to some extent.
Well,
I don't know.
everything's information. I think that's what you were getting at with that.
Or do you
Yeah,
just perceive
everything is an
everything?
information
Energy's
influx.
Information.
I don't know if that's 100% true because I think that that's what our bodies are meant to do, to pick up on it. Like, it's not information at its base. It is just as it is. And
It's a sensation in its pure form.
yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It just is you know what I mean? The isness. Like the ongoing, whenever you go,
Okay,
whenever you meditate and you get to that quiet place, the ongoing isness, the river that flows behind you. You know what I mean? That
yeah, it's kind of like
it kind of just is, you know?
until we put meaning to like our alphabetic characters. What were they?
Yeah.
It's kind of that.
Something that I believe Alan Watts said that always kind of resonated with me was being enlightened is just going effortlessly into the river that's flowing behind you always. And there's always moments where you're on the river and you're going in the right direction, but you always pull off to the side just for a bit. Always, until you become enlightened, and then you just go into the isness. And that's what I speak of.
Yeah. Okay.
The ongoing, it just is. Like, you can question it till the cows come home, but you're just going to find information. You're not actually going to find anything out.
And what does that information really mean on your set of scientific tools?
Right. What does it mean to you
Yeah.
when really, what are you? You are the isness experiencing itself.
Yeah.
Kind of.
The fingers of the universe protruding itself into a physical manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be strained, man. I just want to.
You want to be strained?
Yeah.
Go jump into a black hole. I've heard that does the trick. I've
First
heard
I
it
gotta
would
find
turn
me
you
that
into
black hole.
spaghetti. Huh?
First, I gotta find me that black hole.
Very possible that they're all around you.
Hey, I ain't wiped in a while. No.
Hey, it's very possible that they're all around you. Have you ever heard of
Micro black holes.
Yeah, micro black holes? Like, who's
Get me all
this?
queasy.
Okay, so like on the quantum realm, it's like the vacuum of space. We know less about the quantum realm than we do about the vast expanse of space.
Right, physical realm.
Yeah. So who's to say that as above, so below? You know what I mean? Who's to say that, you know, when we look at things on a very, very vast scale, we see these things that eat up matter and possibly spit them out somewhere else? We don't really know. We know they condense them to a singularity. Who's to say that that's not on a micro scale, but really it's also on a micro scale? Like, who's to say that if you go down small enough, that you wouldn't just find me and you having this conversation again right here, just in a different realm? Who's to
Like,
say that all
you
the
know
dimensions
how-
have to be out? Why couldn't they be in? Because it seems to me everything in humanity points to everything's in.
So
All of the religions, like, they kind of askew, but a lot of them are about what you do, how you are, the inward looking of yourself.
Yeah.
And it just seems like it would make sense.
Reflection and progress.
Well, yeah, that really all of the things that we look for on the outer could very easily just as easily be on the inner. Just we couldn't see it, we couldn't perceive of it.
Right.
So
we
we
have
look to the outer.
We have the minimum length of measurement, the Planck length, and we have the Planck pixel. I forget what it's called in tessellation, but so what if that smallest theoretical size and length that we have, what if that's like another universe, and then you go in within that, and then you get to that Planck length, and then you have. There's always something outside of something. Why can't that be transverse? There's always something inside of something.
I've always found it weird that circles are everything. Like, everything's a fucking circle. Right?
Yeah.
Like, every planet is a circle. All of it ends up in a circle. And yeah, but with gravity condenses it toward the core, and, you know, it all groups up together, all this shit. But that doesn't make sense when you get to the quantum realm, because everything seems to still be a circle, and gravity doesn't play any role in the quantum realm. That's why we can't figure it out, because we can't figure out gravity, let alone things without gravity. So who's this, like, my question really is, like, so have you ever heard of the background radiation of the Big Bang? Like, we can't see past it. We can't see past it. It's a big plasma ball, basically.
We can tell it's cooling off.
Yeah, well, kind of. We can tell where it has cooled since the Big Bang. We can't tell that it is actually cooling off. In fact, it seems as of late that it is accelerating and getting hotter towards the end of the universe, and we don't actually know why. We think that dark matter or dark energy is the culprit. But we don't know. The science does not know whatsoever. And that's scary. But I think the background...
we're using the wrong set of scientific tools.
I think so too. But I think the background itself is very, very possible that it's just a nucleus. We're inside of a fucking nucleus. Like why wouldn't we be inside of a nucleus?
We're just
You know what I mean? Like, why
part
the
of
fuck
a
wouldn't we
cell.
be?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't we be?
You look at some formations and they'll look like organs, hearts, eyes, lungs, and things like that out in these star fields.
I've always attributed that to Murphy's Law and humans' innate ability to make things out of darkness. Yeah.
Right. The ability to attribute certain attributes of other stuff to things that you know.
Yeah, and your brain naturally looks for those patterns.
Yeah.
I think it's very possible that that's kind of what that is. What I'm more alluding to is like, I've always had this crazy thought that the Big Bang itself is just the neurological firing of another being. Mm-hmm. So like, when we have a thought, something
Big
explodes within our fucking brain and everything around it changes inherently. We can't see it, but we know that it happens.
Right.
Who's to say that we're not just living in the mind of something else?
The mind of God.
I've always had that thought that like either like that's like the simulation theory on an extreme scale. Like we're a simulation, but really we're just we're a silly idea of a fucking advanced being. Or not even an advanced being. We could be inside the head of like me being here. No, me being here. We could definitely be inside the head of a fucking.
We're
retard.
just Zero's hump thoughts.
I'm the fucking idea that somebody thought of that they didn't say.
Right. No, that simulation theory connected to like the neural pathway, that's really interesting in my opinion. I like how like one of the first Tao, well, it wasn't one of the first Tao philosophers, I forget his name, but he was a Tao philosopher. He said this could all just be the flapping of the wings of a butterfly.
Oh yeah.
And like that hit with me super deep.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same idea.
It's
really.
the same exact thing, just a different set of scientific tools.
Yeah. Well, and it's weird because like, so we were talking about Graham Hancock earlier, and like the civilizations of antiquity that I was talking about, the prehistory civilizations that seem to have been like destroyed by a meteor
before we recorded
really
things on
tablets and paper.
like
it seems like they were technologically advanced. Some of the stuff that they cut doesn't have tool marks on it. It seems like they could mold stone as if it were putty. Now, if that's the case, then they had some type of technology that we have yet to figure out, or we might not even ever figure out. Most people, Graham Hancock included, like, this is a theory of my own, like, who's to say that they went along the same path as we did? Like, everybody that believes along the lines of there was an ancient civilization and they got wiped out believes along the lines of they followed kind of the same footprints as we followed, and we just haven't fully made it to where they're at, to where they were at, to where they had mastered everything specifically.
Yeah.
I don't think that at all. I think they were way behind us. I think we're way ahead of them. We just use different science. We used, I think somewhere along the line, and unfortunately it seems to be surrounded by religion, we went off track and we started using evil instead of good. Like, it seems like it's, and even in the ancient civilizations and the carvings in fucking Giza, it seems like they said that this is like, there was a great period where the gods ruled. And then there was a lesser period where the lesser gods ruled. They were gods, but they were sons of gods, basically.
Is what might be where you get your spiritual leaders from. Yeah,
well, not even that. That would be like a civilization that we don't even like. That
like
archaeology doesn't even say exists.
Atlantis.
Yeah, like that type of shit. And Atlantis is just the Philippines. Look into that later.
Really?
Just look into that later. Just look into that later.
Atlantis is just who?
The Philippines.
Okay.
90 islands. The Philippines
90 islands?
The Philippines is about 90 islands, right?
Islands, okay.
Plato.
Yeah, it's about 90 islands, and it's very deep, the ocean floor is. But if you take where the ocean level was about 12,000 years ago, all of that ground level was like ground level. Like there was like the ocean was lower because the ice caps hadn't melted at all. The whole world used to be about 100 foot higher ocean level wise. 100 foot.
Just from tectonic plate shifting now, and land going into water and taking up space.
Yeah,
and pushing the water out.
So at the impact, the impact happened in North America somewhere around like northeast.
Mexico.
No,
Oh.
northeast.
Really?
Yeah, but there was
Always under the impression that it happened in like Mexico, Southwest America.
You are correct, but it
That's where
seems
the dinosaurs.
no. It
off of
seems like,
Mexico. I'm-
but
the 65
okay.
million year ago. Okay.
But it seems like that's where at least the big piece hit. It seems like there was fragments that hit all over the Earth that kind of destroyed everything.
Yeah.
But at least the biggest explosion itself happened in North America. It seems like in North America. So there, like where it happened, it caused mudslides. Like there was think about 100 foot of mud, and on top of that, 300 foot of water all over the world. The Great Flood. The Great Flood that happened in every ancient civilization that has ever been.
Yep.
They all talk about a Great Flood. Every single one.
First mentioned in the Epic of Gilgamesh.
That's what I'm saying. Well, at least we think.
That's the only one that we have proof of. Yeah.
Right. Well, and like even Egypt. Like the Egyptians talk about Osiris settling everything after the Great Floods. After the gods brought a mighty serpent with a fire tail, a comet, to the earth to destroy the earth because they had started living evilly. And
there's water damage on those sites in Egypt and shit. And
the Sphinx specifically is what you're talking about, right?
A lot of water damage,
Yeah, like way more than would have, way
predating
more,
it way farther back than what they thought.
about 12,800 years. About to when this fucking meteor hit.
Yeah.
Or a comet. But, I don't know what I was saying. What was I saying? What did I say?
Man,
I said a lot.
I don't know. We were on it though.
I know. I was going somewhere. Train derailed.
Let's switch it up to dreams. Y'all had any good dreams lately?
I had a recent nightmare of a fucking dream. I was in like basically a haunted house. Like,
Whoa, spooky time.
yeah, and but the theme was like office building and work.
Okay, so are you talking about haunted houses like a haunted house attraction or like Waverly Hills like it was a haunted place?
It was just I was at work in an office building, and the things that I saw were so fucked up and tragic. I was trying to get out of the building. It was like being
there were
in a haunted
paranormal
house.
things happening.
It wasn't paranormal. Well, yeah, I mean, dead people that were still alive, walking and shit, and a bunch of murders.
That's
and shit
intense,
like
dude.
Yeah. Like I don't.
So
dream
did you
much.
make it out?
When I woke up in tears, probably, I mean, shit.
What's the last thing you remember from the dream?
I don't know. I know I saw a couple murders. It was hard to piece together. I don't dream much because of my marijuana use. Smoking all the time and shit.
Try melatonin.
Melatonin. I don't know if I want to dream.
I feel it. I know. I feel that.
I like the dark emptiness of sleep just for a minute. You wake up like nothing happened. Yeah.
Dude, but
I'm really shook by some of my dreams.
I feel like, hey, on some real shit. So like, I still write music pretty often. Yeah. I don't nearly as much as I did, but whenever I was really on it, writing all the time, I would have dreams of songs that I'd never written, and some of them would bop, and I would wake up and try to furiously write down. And I would never be able to, like, the more you think about it, the more you can't. Yeah. That type of shit. Ugh. But all the time. So I feel like dreams are good in the fact that it's the purest form of idea. Yeah. You know what I mean? Absolutely untethered. Like, if you are an antenna, that's where you get the most.
I firmly believe
that's where you get the most.
Antennas.
That's what I'm saying. But if that's the case, whenever you boot yourself off, that's when you're getting the most. Shit moves in. Well, yeah, because you're not getting any of the senses.
And for antennas aren't just for you to receive signals; they're also to send.
Oh yeah,
send and receive. But dude, this has been a good podcast
for sure. I don't want to end it. What time is it?
Yeah, it's about. I gotta take the wife to work and shit.
Is it already 9?
Yeah.
Whew, we've been on a streak.
Shade time age spike.
It's like my fucking underwear in here, so streaked up.
So like real quick, while we were on the dream thing before we cut it, one last little bit. So like I think maybe the dream thing might also be, instead of like a astral place we go to, it could even just be like us experiencing our brain in a different way. It's experiencing our subconscious mostly, like in a way that we can't like really perceive, and that's why it feels like different and real in that reality compared to our physical
Or it could be
reality.
radio noise.
Science supports that.
Science does.
Yes.
I haven't looked into dream scientifically much. But
Okay,
I know,
so
like I have tons of dream experiences, and like every time it's like
okay, so
indescribable almost.
as far as psychology goes, what a dream is, because we don't actually fully know what it is, but as far as we can tell, it's a way for the brain to process the things that are on our mind. So yes, the science supports that.
Wow.
It's intense. All right, let's wrap it up now. Thank you all
Been a
for
good
joining
one,
us,
man.
dude. We appreciate it. I appreciate all my
Thanks for having
followers,
me.
all the love. Dude, we got to have you back sometime really soon.
I'm down.
Not gonna lie. Hey,
Love you guys.
love you.
too, bro.
Love you, dude.
Love you. Thanks
Love
for having me
y'all.
on. Bye,
Life's a
everybody.
bitch.
Life's a fucking